everyone, and welcome to the lovely Frost is Lost Game Room Tour of 2024, technically 2025 because it is almost New Year's after all. Christmas was just 3 days ago, and I have finally finished dusting this whole room and ready to film all of its nonsense, all of its lovely wacky shenanigans, which involves games I probably don't play, and random handhelds and all this nonsense. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to show it off and get to explain the stories of where I've been, as well as the stories behind the new PC, because I had a water-cooled PC last year. What happened to that? We'll get into that soon. Getting into all the different handhelds and the new keyboards, the new mouse, the new games this year, which I'm going to spend a lot less time on talking just about the games, and all the collectibles, all the nonsense in this room that I've collected for the past 15 years. And it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I don't know. It's been a little while since I've done these. Obviously, it's been a whole year since I've gone over all this nonsense, but it's a little exciting. It's a little exciting to get back in and talk about everything and go, wow, why does this Eevee have a VR headset on? That's so weird. You're so quirky and cool. And I'll be like, no, I'm not, but thank you. I'm very good at wasting my money. But yes, I'll get into some lovely stories and coverage about all the games, systems, computer, and just everything I can possibly think of. I'll actually go into a little bit of behind the scenes and actually tell you guys some stories. Like last year, I didn't really get to show as much as I wanted to. I wanted to go over oh, by the way, there was Pokemon cards and stuff. I didn't show you guys how much I love Vulpix. Oh, there was, a story behind videos that never made it to showing, like these little papers from videos that never ended up getting made, aside from Papyrus. He got a video, but you did not. Just a bunch of stories I never got to share and stuff I'd like to go over and be like, wow, new controllers, new videos, never happened before. So without further ado, let's hop into it. I'll talk about it, and I hope you guys enjoy this lovely game room tour. So of course, just like last year, I will start out by just sitting here and going, wow, when you walk down the stairs, the first thing you see is a very lame Amazon We Love Gaming carpet, but I actually used it a lot for, it's not carpet, it's rug, but I actually used it a lot for VR back in the day, just to make sure I wouldn't step out of place, out of a boundary or whatever. But when you first walk down here, you'll see a fox that greets you with this curtain, which I'm going to close this curtain as we walk in, because we don't need the outside world in our lovely game room tour. And you're greeted by multiple things. You're greeted by a ton of things, wow, you get to see an X-Wing, you get to see a big hunkin' old TV that's only 1080p. You get to see the big PC and the big setup and how crazy it is, how there's not much space down here, yet I'm very, very good at actually sealing off a lot of space and using it to my best ability, like all the shelves and all the nonsense I can get into. So, the best part about this is my favorite part of the whole room, I'll actually just jump into right away, is the themed shelves, being the Mario shelf, the Zelda shelf, the Smash Brothers shelf, and the Poké shelf, and some VR stuff, and some travel cases. So I'll get right into this. As I said, my favorite part of the whole room is definitely the themed shelves. And I have the VR, Pokemon, Smash, Zelda, Mario, and some boxes on top, which we'll get into. I'll start at the bottom and kind of make my way up and talk about stories and talk about my love for these game franchises, as these are some of my most favorite games. There are also some lovely, some other themed shelves, like the Splatoon shelf over there, the Xenoblade Chronicles shelf, the FNAF Security Breach shelf, and of course, the random games that are weird or bad or funny, and we just have some of them on display for that shelf over there. But let's get into this. There's not much to say on the bottom shelf, of course. It's just some travel cases with a question mark box that says, oh, it's got all your cables and your instruction manuals and whatever, with a mini fridge that doesn't really get used all that often, with some lovely fire hazard cable management. There's just a mini fridge. I legit never use this. I'm actually considering kind of just getting rid of it and just using it for more space for travel cases or whatever, because I like to travel with some VR stuff as well as Switch stuff and whatever. So it's very nice to have all these travel cases just to run around. There's even a travel case for a new VR microphone that I got recently, which I'll talk about later. Of course, let's actually get into some of the fun stuff, like the VR headsets, which I've actually had many VR headsets. Over behind me is actually a Nintendo Labo VR headset, which was my very first VR headset I ever had, which I'll talk about that later. But I actually got my hands on a PlayStation VR 1, which is actually sitting, as I said earlier, on the Eevee up there. But I jumped eventually to the Quest 2, and this is my main Quest 2. I've had it for a while. It's got the Elite head strap with a VR cover leather face. I use this for about 2-3 years now, I believe, and it's pretty good, but VR technology ages a lot faster than normal game console technology, so it really gets outdated after 2 to 3 years, and you kind of want to upgrade, which is why I already have the PlayStation VR 2. I love the Quest 2. It's a lot of fun. I didn't end up picking up a Quest 3 for my needs because I wasn't really interested in any of the mixed reality stuff, as well as I wasn't really interested in like standalone play. I was more so interested in connecting to my computer and streaming some Beat Saber or playing VR chat or whatever it is I desire, but it was really just for PC gaming, so it didn't really fit my needs anymore. Although I still like playing it with some of my little cousins from across the country and whatever. It's a lot of fun. I have the PlayStation Move controllers behind here on their chargers, as well as the PlayStation VR 2 controllers and the PlayStation VR 2 headset, which a lot of people don't like this headset because it's very, very pricey, as well as it doesn't have that many games. I got it as soon as they announced that there was going to be PC VR support, and I said, yep, that's my cue, because it's 4K resolution, OLED screens, eye tracking, it's got like headset feedback, and the controllers are very, very comfortable, very, very nice, very new, and they fit very well. I really like them. They have pretty bad batteries, but I do really like it. I got to play some stuff on PS5 as well, such as Horizon Call of the Mountain, and I tried out some other games on it as well. Like I already had Beat Saber, so I got a free copy of Beat Saber for PlayStation again. I didn't really play too much on the PlayStation 5. Again, I really just use it for PC VR, and I've done lots of VR chat once again and more Beat Saber, but I've played a lot of other stuff too. Not that I can remember off the top of my head, but I definitely love VR. I really got into it ever since I've, figured out how to do like models and, custom make models and whatever for VR chat and streaming. I keep saying VR chat even though I've only put like 150 hours into it. I don't really spend too much time in there unless I've got some friends with me. But I love VR. I just use it as a social space, not too much streaming anymore, just to have fun and kind of zone out for the night. Above it, we have some of the fans' favorite. We have the Poké Shelf, which I don't have any of the DS games aside from Pokemon Black 2 back there. But I do have most, if not every single 3DS to Switch game, being Pokemon X and Y, which is Gen 6, which is not my favorite generation. I never actually grew up on the 3DS games. I grew up on the Switch games. I say grew up, but truth be told, I never got to play Pokemon until I was an adult, so my first Pokemon games ever was actually Sword and Shield, and then I went to Pikachu and Eevee, and I'll get into all that later on. But I have X and Y, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I don't have Sun and Moon, and I kind of want to pick those up because you can get like an Ash Greninja like mystery gift or whatever it is from the original versions, but I just picked these up because they're the updated versions and they were just easier to play. I don't know the exact differences. I'm not a big Pokemon fan despite what is sitting in front of you, but I'm really not the biggest Pokemon fan. I just play it for my friends, and I really liked the Switch games aside from Scarlet and Violet. They weren't that great, and a lot of people didn't like Brilliant Diamond and Pearl. I did. I don't know why. I really like Brilliant Diamond and Pearl. It's definitely one of my favorites, but whatever you guys want to believe, I agree, they're bad games, but I like them because I'm stupid. I've got some merchandise all around here. Some Pokemon trading card stuff has really made the rounds this time. We have Detective Pikachu. It's the biggest amiibo figure, not the biggest amiibo ever, because there is the Mega Yarn Yoshi with some amiibos in the front such as Pichu, Greninja, Venusaur, I believe, Charizard, Squirtle, Incineroar, and Lucario, as well as Ash and a Pokemon Trainer, or well, it's Pokemon Trainer, and Pikachu. I got the Pokemon Go Plus Plus, which is, I believe I picked up this year. I don't remember if it was in last year's collection, but it's for Pokemon Sleep as well as Pokemon Go, of course. It's named Pokemon Go. And I used it for a little bit, but I'm not really interested in using it anymore. The app kind of got stale and boring, and I didn't really pay attention to it much anymore. I ended up I also have the Shadow Mewtwo card and some pins around here. You might notice some of the Pokemon trading card stuff such as Eevee and Umbreon and Vulpix, my favorite Pokemon ever, and Sprigatito, with some cards, like I think it's Snob and another Eevee card. I think it's Alolan Vulpix and not Alolan. It's just a Zoroark, but I can't pronounce it correctly. I'm sure I'm butchering a lot of these names. But I do have a lot of merchandise of trading card stuff, even though I'm not really the biggest fan of Pokemon trading cards anymore. I have, like I said, some more of the Switch games, which being Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, which is the Gen 1 remakes. I beat Eevee. That was the first one, first Pokemon game I actually beat and finished, and I really liked it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. What's everyone talking about? Then I realized the DS games are superior, but I don't have any of the DS games aside from a non-working Pokemon Black 2. But I did like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I don't have the special Pokeball controller though. I wish I did. Pokemon Sword and Shield. I have beaten both of these versions. I do like them. I do like their DLC. It also is birthed the Pokemon Urshifu, which is my friend Saotami's favorite Pokemon. If you guys don't know who he is, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. There is Pokemon, like I said, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I was a big Pearl guy, but I played both of them. I put like 300 hours into them each. Like I said, I'm really dumb, and that's what got me into wanting to have a full National Living Dex, and now I do, because I had to get all these games for some reason. I did pick up, of course, on launch, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which I do have the DLC for Violet, because I'm a big Violet guy. But I ended up, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I got the Living Dex, I beat it, I thought the online was fun, but obviously the performance was pretty bad. I've got some of the Splatoon Pokemon keychains. These also go for the Zelda ones up top. But I do have all the, the Sprigatito, the Quaxly, and I think Fuecoco. Is it Quaxly? I don't know if it is. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of names and say, oh, this is what it is. And I'm going to be wrong. So make fun of me in the comments, of course. But I do love my Pokemon shelf. It's a lot of fun. I just don't grab much off this shelf anymore. You can kind of tell why. Because it's a nightmare to grab a DS game and put it back because they're all on top of each other. It's not my smartest design, but it looks good from a distance. Of course, we have the fabled Smash shelf, which with my original logo back there, which I do not have Super Smash Bros. For the N64, mostly because I do not have a Nintendo 64. I have played the original game. I have also, played multiple N64 games, but I just don't have the system nor the physical copy of the game. I have Super Smash Bros. Melee, which people are huge fans of. I'm not the biggest fan of. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, I grew up on that one specifically. Smash 3DS, everyone ditched it for Smash Wii U. I played the most Smash Wii U, I think, of any of the Smash games, aside from Ultimate, of course. And, of course, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is still something I go back to every single night. I have about half, you guys already have noticed that I'm a big amiibo freak, and I have amiibo pretty much all over the room. You'll notice if I just do a quick pan, you'll see amiibo there, amiibo everywhere. Everywhere we look, there's going to be amiibo. But of course, this is the star of the show with all the Smash line. This is about 50%, maybe 60% of all the amiibo. I believe I'm missing about 30, maybe 35 amiibo. But of course, I have multiple of them. I picked up so many more this year for the Smash line that I am actually running out of space, and I'm probably going to stop getting the Smash line. I really want to finish up the Animal Crossing line and the Zelda line of amiibo, but I don't really care to get the rest of the Smash Bros. Line because I got all the figures I really wanted, mainly being like characters like Sora and Inkling. But I do have, I'll go over all the figures I do have, being Mario, Inkling, Steve, Villager, Mega Man, Samus, Game & Watch, Mii Brawler, which they restocked all the Mii fighters recently on Nintendo's website, which I was so happy about because they're so dorky and stupid, and they were really rare. I think they were exclusive to Toys R Us back when I was a kid. I have Marth, Isabelle, Zelda, Piranha Plant, Terry, Mii Sword Fighter, Wario, Luigi, my first amiibo ever, Pit, did I say hey, it's Terry. I said Terry, right? I don't know if I said Ryu. Ryu, Yoshi, Duck Hunt, Banjo-Kazooie, Joker, we have Fox, Ness, Link, Sonic, Kirby, and Pac-Man. Now I'll jump back over here. We have Snake, Dr. Mario, Lucina, Sheik, how could I forget? It's King K. Rool, Bowser Jr., Alex, Robin, he's new, Olimar, there's the Mii Gunner back there. We have Daisy and Rob, as well as Bowser, Donkey Kong, Chrom, King Dedede, Ganondorf, he's also new, Ice Climbers, Lucas, Kazuya, my worst nightmare, as well as Dark Samus, Peach, Byleth, and Sephiroth. Those are every single Smash amiibo. Of course, there's Smash amiibo hidden all over the room for specific series such as Xenoblade, and Pokemon is of course down here as well. But I kept most of the Super Smash Bros. Line over here. I also have a Super Smash Bros. Invitation that actually came from Nintendo's website. I don't know if they do these anymore, but they came with you got sent these little envelopes and these little stickers, and you could actually put a little note inside going, hey, you're invited to my birthday party. But I thought it looked cool enough to throw on the collection because I think it's very unique. Above that, we have the fabled Zelda collection. I'm not the biggest Zelda fan. I actually played a lot of Zelda on Switch, but not really any of the other platforms. I watched my brother play Skyward Sword on the Wii, but I wasn't really interested in any of the Zeldas before I played not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. But I do have a lot of stuff on here for being a not very big Zelda fan. I have a lovely Ruby that I actually got from a Renaissance Festival a couple years back with a bunch of amiibo in front, which we'll go over those first, being Wolf Link, Majora's Mask Link, Ocarina of Time Link, Link's Awakening Link, say that 5 times fast. We have Archer Link from Breath of the Wild, as well as Horse Rider Link from Breath of the Wild as well, Tears of the Kingdom Link, Daruk, Mipha, Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom, as well as Zelda from Breath of the Wild, and Zelda and Loftwing from Skyward Sword. There's a lot of hidden stuff on this shelf, mainly being there is a book back here, which was like a starter guide for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, as well as a Hyrule map, also from that special starter collection for Breath of the Wild. I had Breath of the Wild already on Wii U, so I just bought the Switch version, and I got like a special version for Black Friday, I think back in 2019. I don't think they make it anymore. I kind of wish I kept the box, because I don't know how much that goes for on eBay, but it's probably something they're not going to do anymore. In the back, like I said, we have pretty much every single 3D and Zelda title. I do not have Wind Waker, not on GameCube, not on Wii U. I just flat out do not have Wind Waker. I wanted to get it this year because it's actually an older Zelda game I'm very much interested, but I just did not end up picking it up. But like I said, we've got The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D because, like I said earlier, I do not have an N64. I put A Link Between Worlds on here. It's not really a 3D Zelda, but most like 2D, all my 2D and 3D Zeldas are going up here aside from like Hyrule Warriors or other spin-off titles that I have in the collection. I have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, which I tried to start 2 years ago, and I still haven't gotten to it. I think it's so cool. I'm a big fan of the designs, and I think Wolf Link is awesome, but I haven't gotten to it, and I really want to get to it. I have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I used to have it on Wii, but now I only have this HD version. I did speedrun it this year with against Cole Sid, who was racing me. I did win the race. It took us like 28 hours to beat it. Not in one sitting. We took a couple of breaks. We have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is my favorite Switch game of all time. I still love it. I sometimes still go back to it. I actually prefer over Tears of the Kingdom, mainly just because it was just such a breath of fresh air for the franchise, as well as I didn't really enjoy just exploring the whole same world all over again, but now it was a little more confusing and you just had to build like vehicles and whatever. And it's a really good game. I'm serious, I love Tears of the Kingdom, but I have a much softer spot for Breath of the Wild. Back there we have The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Echoes of Wisdom is very close to being my game of the year. It probably is my game of the year. I might change that later in the video, but I loved Echoes of Wisdom. I played that so much and almost 100%ed it on stream. I love that one. It's so goofy to spawn in beds and start flying. I loved when Twitter found that glitch. It was awesome. I love it so much. Even though a lot of people didn't quite get it, I did. I love it so much. But it's very weird. It's very, very weird, but I'm glad that Zelda has her own game that's not just named The Legend of Link. Of course, I have the Game & Watches. I had these turned on, but I'm just not going to turn them back on. I tried turning them on last year, and it's just a pain to lean over and knock a bunch of stuff over to turn them on. But I do love the Game & Watches. They look nice. They're really cool display pieces. Even though I'd never touched them, they just kind of sit up here and go, wow, look at me. I'm $50, and you're never going to use me. But they are cool 25th or 35th. Yeah, it was 35th anniversary little novelties that you could get, and they were mostly in clearance bins for the last 3 years, so I'm still happy I picked them up. I like them a lot. I have a pre-order bonus of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from Best Buy on the wall here, this little portrait, as well as a plushie of Link from Wind Waker, so you can tell I really need to find Wind Waker. And as I said earlier, I of course do have the Splatoon 3 keychains once again up here for Courage, Wisdom, and Power. And that is the Zelda shelf. I don't know if I have any other stories to share about Zelda other than the fact that I've played Skyward Sword a lot more than I thought I did. And yeah, I think, I should mention I bought the DLC for Breath of the Wild like twice on both Wii U and Switch, and I've definitely played more on Wii U than I did Switch because Switches were sold out for so long, but I'm a big fan of Zelda. One of the things that got an update was the Mario shelf. Not too much of an update, but the main course being, of course, this Piranha Plant Lego set, which I actually built 2 days ago. I got it for Christmas, and I've been looking for it for a while. Or not looking for it, just hoping to get it for a while. It just took me a little while to actually go, you know what? That's what I want. That's what I desire. And it's very cool. You can adjust it and make it chomp and lean backwards and whatever. It's very, very cool. But I don't know, I might put it in a different spot of the room, but I do like where it is already. I have some My Nintendo stuff. Of course, I just knocked over a My Nintendo pin, which I got from back at the, 2017 Nintendo World Championships. They had some qualifiers back when I was a kid in order to do some, in order to just try out for those championships. You had to play Mario Kart 7, and if you logged into My Nintendo with them, they'd give you this little pin. Online, they actually have, I don't think they have it anymore, these little My Nintendo points pins. The silver one and the gold ones, of course. There's an earbud holder right above them as well. There's a bunch of My Nintendo merch on this shelf, actually. Another one being this little Cat Mario from Bowser's Fury hanging on top of the shelf as well. And of course, we have all the amiibo once again. I got some more Mario amiibo, but they're not actually over here. They're hidden somewhere else in the room. But I did get the Bowser and Peach wedding amiibo this year. So I do have, I think it was this year. It might not have been this year. It might have been last year. But I do have Wedding Mario, Wedding Peach, Wedding Bowser, Cat Mario, Cat Peach, the 35th anniversary Mario. I do not have the other variant, not the colors variant. I have Bowser, Peach, Luigi, Mario, and Silver Mario. I still do not have the Golden Mario, and I'm still looking for it. That's like the last amiibo I could ever ask. So I don't need any more amiibo aside from the Golden one. That's the one I really, really want. I got an art book from Mario Odyssey. I used to have an art book for Splatoon 2, but it was Splatoon 1. I think it was Splatoon 1, but I ended up giving it away to a friend a while ago. I do have all the 3D Marios. Again, I do not have an N64, so I do not have Mario 64 physically, but I do have Super Mario 3D All-Stars for Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Galaxy. I have Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario 3D World, and Super Mario Odyssey. I'm a big fan of Galaxy 1. I could play that game forever. Galaxy 2 is something I'm like, you want to be quirky and try something different and not play on your Switch? That's the game to go with. Galaxy 2 was a lot of fun, but I actually still remember the first one more fondly these days. 3D World or 3D Land is a lot of fun just to blast through and go, wow! Let's play it again. It only took me like 2 days to finish it off again at 100%. It's a very easy, but very turn your brain off of, you know what, let's go back to the 3DS. 3D World is a lot more fun on Switch. I do have the Switch version, but it's not sitting up here because I wanted to display the Wii U version. And then Odyssey, I actually had to buy a second copy because I gave my original copy to a friend and got this one for like 20 bucks new at Micro Center. I don't know why Micro Center sells video games, but they do. I don't know why Switch games, but sure, they do. Like I said, I also have the Game & Watch Mario edition up here as well, with a Super Mario Maker art book that came with the Wii U game. There is the Super Mario Bros. Cereal amiibo, which I kind of want to 3D print and take the tag out of it and put the tag inside of that 3D print just so I could save space, but the cereal box is so funny, I just kind of keep it around anyway. Underneath all this, hidden way in the back, is a 35th anniversary pin set. I don't have the original. This is the second set that focuses on the 3D Mario games, being Sunshine, Galaxy. Actually, not just the 3D games, just some of the modern games like New Super Mario Bros. Wii as well. You can see I think that's what that Yoshi one is supposed to be. And Odyssey and New Super Mario 3D World. But I think I'd like to get some more Mario stuff. But I just haven't ended up picking up much Mario stuff this year aside from Amiibo, and obviously this is Piranha Plant. I'm not really interested in any of the Mario Legos, mostly because most of them just require the little toy, and I'm not really interested in that. I wish they would do like a really cool Luigi's Mansion, like 18+ set that's like the really big Luigi's Mansion, but maybe we'll get that another time. Above it, we do have the last bit of this, being some display boxes like for the Series X and my Splatoon 3 OLED Special Edition Switch with a new, well not really new, but I did hide this squid up here, this Inkling squid, that was hidden behind my shelves for a while because I actually finally found a spot for it. This is new, the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition pin set came with the special edition of, well obviously Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Every physical copy of this game came with a bunch of little goodies, the pin set being one of them. I do really like it. I pretty much finished the game in one sitting, but I thought it was a lot of fun. It's very dorky and random, but it's just kind of a fun, turn your brain off for one sitting and you're pretty good. I'll go over the Pokemon cards in a little bit, but that tends to be the end of this shelf. On the side, we do have a Wii balance board that I brought down. I don't know if this is last year either. I think this is new. Not new to my collection, but I didn't show it off last year. I do have it hidden back here, as well as my camera equipment in case I'm recording like an IRL bit, like I did with the Undertale Yellow series. And on the sides, of course, we do have all the posters for Mario 3D All-Stars. I really like 3D All-Stars. I know it was really disappointing for Nintendo fans. Like, that's it? You only did the 3 games? They weren't even that remastered? I really like them. I think the posters are cool. So I got them off of my Nintendo. They don't make these anymore, but I do have, you know, Mario 64, Sunshine, and of course, Super Mario Galaxy. The futon below, yes, the futon. This is where I usually sit if I'm trying to play games with friends. You know, or a late night session with my brother, we'll just sit down and go, wow, you want to zone out to a PlayStation 2 game that's really bad, but we forgot that it was bad? This is where we hang out. I've got a Teddy Ursa, what's it? I don't remember the name, but it's a Teddy Ursa. It's a Squishmallow, right? What is it called? It's a Squishmallow, yes. How could I forget? With a Ash Ketchum from, I think, the Kanto region hat on top of it. That used to be on top of my PC. Now it's over here. So I was like, sure. This is actually originally supposed to be a gift for one of my friends, but I ended up just not giving it to him. And I said, you know what? If you don't want it, it's going in the collection. So here it is, sitting in the collection. It's very soft. It's very fun to lean on sometimes. And of course I have a fox here. Like last year, I think there's a couple more foxes in the collection, so count how many foxes there are in the collection, let me know in the comments. But I just have one fox sitting over here on top of it it's from Build-A-Bear. Thank you, friend. And that tends to be this entirety of the room. We'll get into the PC stuff at the very end. Quick change of pace. Last year, I said I was going to talk about my Pokemon cards and show you guys them later on, and I never did that. So this year, I'm just going to show you guys really quick, not even going to be a minute long, just showing you, hey, this guy likes Pokemon cards. I don't really like Pokemon cards anymore, but I do love 11 Vulpix, so I did try to get all the 11 Vulpixes. I do not have them all. I'm missing, I think, like 4, 5, or 6. And I'm in no rush at all to get the rest of them. Pokemon cards they don't really matter to me as much as they used to. They've gotten expensive and I'm not really worried about it anymore. So there you go. So now we are on to the main course, aside from actually showing you guys off the stuff to play on. Let's talk about my physical collection. I'm not going to cover my digital collection all, being Steam and, you know, all the digital stuff from Xbox and Nintendo and, you know, everything. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm only going to talk about my physical media and just go, wow, this guy still plays physical games. What a dork. I like collecting physical games because when someone walks in, I get to go, hey, guess what? I own too many Switch games. Do you want to borrow one? It just makes life easy to let my brother or my other siblings just borrow a quick game so they can just play something and go, that game was bad. At least I didn't spend $60 on it. Last year, I also spent like 30 minutes talking about every single game in depth, and I'm not going to do that this year. I'm only going to go over certain highlights, or I'm going to try my hardest to go over certain highlights. So I'm just going to read a name and then just kind of go from there and just kind of move forward. But of course, we're not worried about that right now. What we are worried about is this little spot down here. This is still room for expansion, so obviously there's not really much going on down here. We just have a couple of the special edition boxes, not really special edition, just really the physical Switch Sports collection, as well as the Nintendo World Championships NES edition box with little Rainforest Cafe Frog hanging out back there. I never really wanted to get rid of him. I thought he just looked dorky, and I was like, you know what? That belongs in my setup. There's a bunch of Pokemon trading card elite boxes holding them up, and of course they're all hidden around the room. I have, of course, the Alolan Vulpix Elite Trainer boxes, the Alolan Vulpix just booster pack, just sitting there. It is open, it's all, you know, unboxed and whatever. Like I said, I don't really have any interest in any more Pokemon card stuff, but I just have them all over the room, and it's just, they look nice at a distance. I have Cuphead and Mugman just at the bottom of this shelf. You guys may notice there's a lot of plushies aside from foxes around this room. You will immediately notice the evolutions, of course, also guarding this entire shelf. I just put these two down here because I didn't have another Eevee to throw down here, so you know what? They look good, and they hang out, and they're great. I love Cuphead, and I'll talk about it possibly later. Probably not. I have gotten into vinyl records a little bit. I don't really listen to it much anymore, but I do have some stuff. The Greatest Showman, Green Day, Imagine Dragons, and of course, Celeste in the front, which is pretty much the only one we have on repeat because I never use the record player. I just have a couple of songs or a couple of vinyls for it, so I don't really use much at all. I just have the couple, and Celeste is cool. So there we go. We have the one video game one. Right above that, we have the Xbox shelf, my smallest collection, because as much as I love Xbox stuff is mostly digital. I use Game Pass for pretty much everything, So I never have to worry about physical media for that, and I really wish I was collecting more physical Xbox games, but unfortunately in the Xbox One and especially the Series X generation, there's not really a point to collecting these at all. Of course, I'll talk about these a little bit. We have Black Ops 2 in the back here. I'll take off this 3D printed, 3D printed Super C Snuff from Splatoon 3. This just didn't fit on my shelf. It might now, but I'm not going to put it there at the moment, with a pre-order bonus from Splatoon 3 as well. We have, like I said, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the trilogy of Disney Infinity. I do like Disney Infinity, but I don't really go back to it anymore. I might like make a short video on it at some point talking about, hey guys, remember this? No, you don't. You remember Plastic? No, you don't. Toys to Life, that was my Toys to Life game. I never had Skylanders. That was my game. Forza Horizon, I do have the other Forza Horizons. I played every single one. I'm a big fan. Love Forza Horizon 1. There's 2, 3, and I have 4 and 5 digitally. Big fan of those games. Love turning my brain off to them. They're some of the best racing games in the world. Minecraft 360 Edition, my very first copy ever of Minecraft. We have Farming Simulator, Game of Thrones, Just Dance Disney. Okay. We have a couple of Just Dance games because you grow up with a sister. It happens. You get some girly games. Not that I don't love Just Dance. Dude, Just Dance is awesome. I actually played it. I think, I had my buddy Raging Man used to play it with me on the Switch. It's not very fun without the Kinect anymore, though. Of course, we have some more Kinect games along with that. We have Kinect Adventures, Kinect Disneyland, Kinect Sports, Kinect Rush, and Kinect Star Wars. Being the only really good one out of those is definitely just Kinect Adventures, because that was the pack-in title. I skipped over it because I was just covering all the Kinect stuff. We have Rayman Origins, my very first Rayman game. I never played any of the 3D titles. I don't know if they're good. Let me know in the comment. I almost said chat. My Twitch brain. I almost said, Yeah, chat. Let me know if the 3D Rayman games are good. I really like Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. I'm a really big fan of those games, but I don't know. Let me know if the 3D games are good. We have Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed, both great games. I'm not very fond of going back to play Sonic titles, but I do love Sonic a lot. We have a Tiger Woods, I think golf game. Is it a golf game? It probably is a golf game. Yes, it is. We have Wipeout 3 as another Kinect game, and then we have the Xbox and Xbox Series X titles. I kind of just keep them together and all mixed up because it's very difficult to tell what's Xbox One and what's Series X. It doesn't really matter anymore. These generations are so difficult to tell what the actual graphical differences in, so it doesn't really matter if they're using the same cases. We have Crash 4, FNAF Security Breach, which I'll save that conversation for later. We have the Forza games, like I said. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I loved it, but also never got back to it. I finished all 9 of the chapters and said, that was pretty good. We have Minecraft, Skate 3, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and of course, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I don't have much to say about those games at all. I love Minecraft, like I said. Skate 3, my brother was super into, and I love watching old YouTubers play it. Jedi Survivor, I never really got into. I liked Fallen Order, but I wasn't a big fan of Jedi Survivor. Rainbow Six Siege was just for friends, and I do not like the game. Like I said, guys, we have the random shelf, as I call it. I don't know, the name changes, but it's just a bunch of goofy games that are just the weirdest in my collection from each system. But before I get into that, we have some collectibles and some stuff in the front, such as a Vulpix pop figure, the only pop figure in the collection. There is actually a Wii U Wii Fit tracking meter, which I think uses the same shell or same technology as the Pokewalker, which I do wish I had that. This is for Wii Fit U, of course, and I haven't actually had the chance to use it, but I did get it alongside a copy of Wii Fit U sealed for like 17 bucks. It was a pretty good deal. I have the Nintendo Switch Online Sega Genesis controller. This is one of the most overpriced controllers in the world. It's like 60 bones, and it's not very useful. It's very comfortable, and when you're playing Genesis games with it, it's awesome, but for $60, or it's $50, I suppose, but for 50 bucks, it's very much not necessary. I just picked it up, and I picked up all the Switch Online controllers because if the Switch 2 is getting announced soon, I'm a little worried they're not going to make those controllers anymore, so I wanted to get them all. We have Happy Dog, a DS accessory, alongside a rubber ducky from Sugar Factory, which is a restaurant in the Mall of America. I figured, hey, let's have two dorky things here. There is a sticker for the Littlest Guy Award. I've got that at a convention. I just found it on the floor and said, that's coming home with me. That's funny. Of course, we have a Wii Remote and Leafeon. So you guys may notice there is a bunch of remotes over Nintendo's history all atop of the shelves. It goes from NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, and Wii. I do not have the Wii U gamepad or the Switch controllers here because I still use those, but I still have them on display here. In the back, let's finally get into it, the big exciting moment, being the random games, being Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. I have the original map for it actually in the closet back there, but it's actually ending up, I think the left arrow doesn't work on it anymore, so I did get to beat the game, and I did like it, but I just doesn't work anymore, so I haven't played it since then. Dokapon Kingdom, a very rare game for the Wii. They did do an online, like, remaster on newer platforms, but I never picked that up. I have the original, and my brother loves it. I hate it, but I love it. We have the Wonderful 101, not necessarily a weird Wii U game, but there's not many Wii U games I have that I consider to be weird. I definitely should change this out at some point. We have Everybody 1-2 Switch, a Fable game that Nintendo didn't want to release because their internal team said it was bad, and I played it and I said it was good. I don't know why, but I said it was good, but this is coming from the guy who loves Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. We have Connect Joyride. I have a history with Xbox Joyride, being I made a video, a short series called The Games You've Ever Heard Of a couple years ago, and the original version is just called Xbox, it's just called Joyride Turbo, and they have remake that game with the Kinect, and I want to play that again. Just thinking about that, I really want to try it again, because Joyride Turbo is not a bad game, it's just Mario Kart on the Xbox. In the back we have my very first, or not very first, but one of my original PlayStation 2 games I ever had, Larry Boy and the Bad Apple. I picked this up for like $6. I don't remember if it was in last year's tour, it probably was. But I figured that's a good game to throw in the weird saga. And of course we have a PlayStation VR demo disc. How crazy to get a demo disc for the PlayStation 4 era. I didn't even know they did demo discs anymore until I got the original PlayStation VR. On top of that, we have the beginning of my Nintendo nightmare as my camera shakes. We have a Nintendo nightmare of games, being all the handheld line, being the DS, 3DS, and the Nintendo Switch. So I'll talk, like I said, I'm going to try to just kind of skip over games that I don't need to talk about that much. So of course we have Animal Crossing Wild World, Brain Age, Carnival Games, Club Penguin, and a bunch of, just again, some more girly games, because growing up with a sister, it happens. An aquarium game, Littlest Pet Shop, Mario Kart DS, awesome, love that game. Mario Party DS, I picked this one up. Yeah, this is New Super Mario Bros. I have not finished it, but it's so good. I know that people kind of forget about it because of all the newer stuff like Wonder and Mario Bros 2 and Wii and U Deluxe and Luigi. There's so many that everyone forgets about this one, and it's such a good one. Phineas and Ferb, Sonic Classic Collection, Sonic Rush, a very good Sonic game on the handheld. SpongeBob True for Square, Disney Tangle, Disney Tinkerbell, and Twilight Unit, again, growing up with a sister, it happens. Wappy Dog, you saw the dog down here. It still works, by the way. Let me test it out real quick. I think it does. Batteries might be dead, though. Let's find out together. Haha, it does. We still love this thing. Of course, 3DS being my favorite system of all time, actually doesn't have too big of a library, but again, its games are spread out through the collection, like on the Pokemon shelf, the Zelda shelf, and the Mario shelf. There's some titles all over the room. So we have Angry Birds Star Wars, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, and New Leaf. New Leaf is my favorite 3DS game of all time. I should actually probably start naming my favorite games from all the systems, and I think for Xbox 360 it would definitely be Rayman Origins. For DS, it would definitely be Mario Kart DS, and then on 3DS, it would be Animal Crossing New Leaf. We have, Chibi Robo Ziplash, a terrible Chibi Robo game, but it's the only one I've ever played because, oh my god, Amiibo. Detective Pikachu, I love that one. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, which is getting a port on Switch. Disney Magic World, Fire Emblem Warriors, 2 copies of Fossil Fighters, so me and Zach could play it. Yes, you don't need 2 Pokemon games, you need 2 Fossil Fighters games. And they are not good according to the fans, even though I like them. Kirby Battle Royale, Kirby Triple Deluxe, Kid Icarus Uprising, a fantastic hidden gem on the system. You guys have got to try this. Hopefully they put it on Switch too. We've got Luigi's Mansion Original and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I'm a big fan of Luigi's Mansion. I have all of the games from GameCube to 3DS to Switch. I have every single version of the game ever. Little Battlers Experience, Mario & Luigi Dream Team, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, and Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. My first one ever was Dream Team. I loved it. I didn't finish any of the other titles, even though they're all very good. Mario Kart 7, a phenomenal Mario Kart game, but kind of forgotten ever since Mario Kart 8. Mario Tennis Open, Mario Party Star Rush, Mario Party The Top 100, and Mario Party Island Tour. I don't think any of the Mario Parties on 3DS are that good, but I did like Island Tour growing up. Minecraft on 3DS, some people still do not believe this game exists. Fun fact, it does. New Super Mario Bros. 2, Paper Mario Sticker Star, Disney Planes, one of my original games as a kid, and I picked that up again recently because it was funny. Puzzle Dragons Z plus the Mario version of it, which is, I gotta try that again. I think it's okay. New Super Mario, Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another one from my childhood collection that I bought back. Tomodachi Life, I hope they put that on Switch too. And Yokai Watch. This is the stuff I'm gonna have to hold myself back and go, okay, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, because my Switch collection is my biggest collection in the entirety of the room. We have, before we get into this nightmare, I forgot to mention the Pikmin amiibo and the Diablo 3 Goblin amiibo. I think it's a Goblin amiibo. I don't know what it is though. I'm pretty sure it's a Goblin. I've never played Diablo, so I wouldn't know. We have the GameCube controller alongside a Jolteon plush. With Metroid Dread, which I absolutely adore Metroid Dread, and Pikmin 4, which is also phenomenal. That was almost my game of the year last year. It probably was. So I'm going to have to be very careful in regards to the Switch games. Like I said, I'm going to have to hold myself back. So I'm going to just kind of skip over certain games and just pull out, like, I'm just going to pull out every single one like this and just skip over it if I don't need to talk about it because it's not that important. But I'm going to talk about a lot of games here anyway. Hat in Time, my brother's favorite game of all time. We have the lovely Animal Crossing. I actually started collecting sealed games this year, and Animal Crossing is one of them. I only have 2 in the collection. ARMS is ARMS. We have Bayonetta, I believe, Bayonetta Origins, which is okay. It definitely feels like a co-op game, even though it's only for 1 player. They have you control 2 characters with the analog sticks. It's kind of strange. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I love it. Detective Pikachu Returns, it's awful. Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze with the fancy, funky mode. We have Five Nights at Freddy's Core Collection. I picked this up because I wanted the games physically, even though I have them on so many different platforms, mainly the PC and, of course, Switch digitally. FNAF Security Breach, again, I have every copy of Security Breach. Again, I have a whole shelf dedicated to it, so we'll talk about that later. Galgun 2, this is a print from Earned Acrobat. He appears on my streams. He just ordered it to me under a receiving, like, name Femboy Frost, so I played it. It's a game. Do your research if you care about it, but not my thing. Very funny April Fool's prank earned. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I absolutely adore it. Performance sucks, so I hope it gets a performance patch on Switch too. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the first 3D Kirby game, awesome. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, it was not worth $60, but I still love it. Luigi's Mansion 3, fantastic, actually worth $60. Mario & Luigi Brothership, that was disappointing. I have not finished it. I will not go back to it on camera. I'll probably play it off camera. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, the final one they ever did for 2020. This is the last Olympic Games they ever did. They have Mario Tennis Aces, which was the last good Mario sports game, in my opinion. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is just the GBA remake. Very good. Metroid Prime Remastered, super good. Cannot wait for Prime 4. Absolutely stoked for that game. New Super Lucky's Tale, I've played and cleared it like 3 times. Awesome. We have the 4 Labo kits. There is only 1 Labo thing in the room, being the Labo headset over there, but I do not have any of them on display. They're pretty much tucked under in shelves, and they're all crumpled up, so. But Labo is cool. I liked building Labo. It was a lot of fun. Using it, it's not that great, but I keep the VR headset out because there are certain experiences that don't just belong to these titles. We have Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Apparently it was really good, but everyone kind of got their fill from the first game, so it didn't sell that well. Mario Golf Super Rush, I have not played it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, give us a new game. Give us a new game. I love it so much, but give us a new game. Mario Party Superstars is great. Mario Strikers Battle Leagues is bad. Nintendo Switch Sports is pretty okay, but they relied too much on the online stuff and not enough new stuff. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, talked about that earlier. Pac-Man World Repack, I hope they do the second one at some point. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, definitely one. I think that's my game of the year for this year. Pikmin 1 and 2, my other sealed game. because I have those digitally. The reason why I picked up 2 sealed games because I want to get certain games sealed because I have them physically or digitally. I have Animal Crossing and Pikmin 1 and 2 digitally, and I wanted to have them physically in the collection. The only first party, or I guess second party Nintendo title that I don't have physically is Animal Crossing. Pokemon Legends Arceus. You guys did not notice that over there. Well, you probably did, but I did not have that over there. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I had to drive over 2 hours to find it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team. I do not like it. I'll try the 3DS game sometime. Princess Peach Showtime was not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's very much brain dead, and you have to focus at the same time. It's kind of weird. We have Ring Fit Adventure. I'd like to return to that at some point. Scribble Nuts. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Awesome. Slime Rancher, big fan of Slime Rancher, big fan. Do not like the second one that much, but I'm gonna try it again soon. Mario Wonder, absolutely phenomenal. Mario Maker 2, Super Mario Party, which is pretty good. And then this came out this year. Everyone in my family loves Mario Party Jamboree. It's fantastic. I still play that with friends today. Super Mario RPG was fantastic remake. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Smash Ultimate, WarioWare to Get Together, and Yoshi's Crafted World. See, I can get through stuff quick. Ignore the fact that this is, we're already like 40 minutes into the video. Ignore that, it's fine. Moving on to the wonderful GameCube, Wii, and not so fun, wonderful Wii U. I also didn't say what my favorite game, I did earlier, I didn't say what my favorite game for the Switch was, being The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I probably didn't, who knows, but there you go. GameCube last year, I said I was going to make my collection bigger. I was going to make sure that I got some more GameCube titles. I didn't do that, but I got more Wii games and I got more Wii U games, so pick your poison. I do have a couple of GameCube titles, being Crazy Taxi, Luigi's Mansion. I love Luigi's Mansion, as I said earlier. Awesome to play it on Halloween. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I haven't played it, but I love the cutscenes. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. I love the Switch version. Super Mario Sunshine, Tales of Symphonia, and I think that's pretty much all the GameCube games. I don't have any more GameCube games aside from Melee. So there's not really many titles to look at for GameCube. For the Wii, I did grow up on the Wii, but unfortunately I did end up having my Wii break down as a kid, which is how I ended up getting a 360. So I do not have pretty much I don't have any of my original games for the Wii. So I've been kind of rebuilding it over time, hence why there's some weird titles, some good titles, some what? So we have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic 2012 games. I remember loving it as a kid. It's okay. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which is awesome. New Super Paper Mario is something I want to play on camera at some point. Pac-Man Party, I remember picking that up with a pre-owned Wii after my original one broke. Punch-Out is fantastic, absolutely love it. Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic in the Secret Rings. I want to play Secret Rings. These games are like, they have awesome music. I know people are like, they're bad motion controls and, oh, quirky and kind of weird, and yeah, but they're funny, so. We have Sonic Colors, that's actually a really good Sonic game. We have Donkey Kong Country Returns. Like I said earlier, it's coming to Switch, but it's still very good. I did be there with my brother a couple times. Fortune Street, which is a crossover with Mario Party and I believe Square Enix. We have Madagascar Carts. This is another game. This is actually, here I'll tell you guys a really quick story. This is a game that ended up not getting a Games You've Ever Heard Of video. It was the 3rd episode that ended up getting canned, but I did stream it a while ago. The stream is no longer viewable, but I was given it by my buddies Raging Man and Nerved. They also appear on stream at sometimes. I have played it. It's dorky and dumb, but it did not end up getting a video, and that series was kind of put to rest as I kind of just focused on other projects because high school at the time had my full attention, so making videos was very much not my focus. Talking about a good Mario Kart, or good racing game, is Mario Kart Wii. I love it so much. Mario Party 8, you got it. Good job, buddy. Mario Sports Mix, which I think is just okay. I don't remember much about this game, actually. Mario Strikers Charge, I know that the GameCube game is really good, and some people don't like the Wii version that much. I like the Wii version. I think the Wii version is awesome. Epic Mickey and Epic Mickey 2. I think I have the PlayStation 5 remake, but I haven't played too much of it, or any of these either. But I know they're pretty good. I know they have some of their fans. Cars 2 was like $5, and I said, you know what? I had that as a kid. Let's pick it up for funnies. I have some more amiibo, of course, in the front. We have Kirby and Meta Knight, with almost the entire Animal Crossing line of amiibo being Isabelle, Digby, Rover, Lottie. I don't remember your name. Blathers, Captain, KK Slider. We have Reese, and one of these is Reese. I know they are. Mabel, Kix. We have Tom Nook and Rossetti. Don't remember all their names because Animal Crossing characters are difficult for me to remember. But I love Animal Crossing so much. But unfortunately, these are all from Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which we'll get into soon. Finishing off the Wii, we have Super Mario Galaxy. Like I said, love that game. Definitely my favorite Wii game of all time. Actually, you know what? No, it's Wii Sports Resort. We'll talk about that in a second. We have Wii Ski and Wii Fit Plus. I have Wii Fit U. I've played the original Wii Fit at a friend's place, but Wii Fit Plus is just the original game, but more. So, you just get the one version, in my opinion. But like I said, Wii Sports Resort is fantastic. Absolutely adore this game. I picked it up at GameStop I think a couple months ago. Complete in box, great condition, love that game so much. Basketball is a lot of fun, sword putting is a lot of fun. All the games in this thing is so much fun. I love Wii Sports Resort so much. I found a sealed copy of Amiibo Festival. I sold my original copy, but I got a sealed copy that was not with the Amiibo, but I already had all the Amiibo, so it's fine. By the way, bad game, in case you haven't caught on to that yet. We have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker again, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze again, Hyrule Warriors. Just Dance. So you guys will start to notice there's a couple of games that are very much different and new from this year, being Just Dance, Lego City Undercover, Lego Star Wars, and Madden. These games are all new. I have not played them. I kind of want to start getting a full North American Wii U collection. It's going to be big for this setup, but there's not many, so it's not going to be too tricky aside from key titles. There is Mario Party 10. Apparently a lot of people don't like it, and I can see why, but I kind of like it because I grew up with it. Mario Kart 8, been playing that since elementary school. Absolutely amazing, though. Mass Effect 3, another game that I picked up recently. New Super Mario Bros. U, and Mario Color Splash. I hear Color Splash is actually pretty okay, pretty good, but it's on Wii U, so it kind of is poisoned. We have Pokémon Tournament. I do want to get the Switch version. I did like the Wii U version. We have Rodeo the Sky Soldier, which actually comes with a reversible cover and has the Wii version. Apparently the Wii version is better. We have Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I haven't played it yet. Apparently it's really bad, and the show is really good, so go watch the show. We have Sonic Lost World, which is also, it's just pretty much Mario Galaxy, but it's okay. We have Super Mario Maker, which is I think Mario Maker on Wii U is the best. I think it's much better than Mario Maker 2. Like I said earlier, I found a sealed copy of Wii Fit U. I swear, apparently my Wii U collection was just my main focus this year, guys. We have Wii Party U, and of course, some of the favorites are standouts in the collection, such as NES Remix Pack. Fantastic, still go back to that. I think it's better than Nintendo World Championships on the Switch. We have Nintendo Land. I still play that with friends. Awesome, just awesome. It's so fun. Luigi's Mansion and Zelda and Metroid and Pikmin and Mario, everything about this game is awesome, except for the solo stuff. It's kind of mid, but everything multiplayer oriented is awesome. I wish it came to Switch. I know why it didn't, because that would be a little cumbersome, but on Wii U it's great. Yoshi's Woolly World is also great, but I hope they port it or remaster it for Switch 2 at some point. We have the Nintendo 64 Switch Online controller. This is the the second online controller that you guys have seen in the collection. It's kind of strange. It gave me the chance to play GoldenEye, actually how GoldenEye was supposed to be played, and it made me discover I don't want to play GoldenEye 64. We have, of course, a Sylveon. Also here, you guys will also notice a Game & Watch. All the Game & Watch posable, all the different Game & Watch figures are sitting with the rest of these evolutions. And that is the Wii U shelf. I don't think there's much else to go over on the Wii U shelf aside from my favorite Wii U game, and it's Splatoon. Splatoon is on another shelf, so we'll talk about that later. I also don't know if I picked out my favorite GameCube game or Wii game. Wii game was Wii Sports Resort. GameCube is Luigi's Mansion. Getting up to PlayStation. PlayStation is definitely a big part of my family growing up. I grew up with a PlayStation 2 as my first system I ever had. I also have a couple of new PS2 games. Not really many, like one or two, but just a couple of titles. I have some amiibo. I think this is a wolf from Monster Hunter, as well as Chibi Robo. I think it's a great amiibo, but a terrible game, like I said. And over here we have all the complete collection of Shovel Knight amiibo, being King Knight, Scepter Knight, I don't remember his name, so I'm going to call you Spice Knight. And we have, of course, the Shovel Knight and Golden Shovel Knight variants. I love these amiibo, and I think they're great. And I also love Shovel Knight. It's an awesome game. So let's get into PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. We have the lovely PlayStation 1 titles, which I don't play much PlayStation 1 stuff. I know there's some pretty good games on PlayStation 1, but no one really talks about it anymore. If you're going to talk about the past of PlayStation, you're going to talk about PlayStation 2. But of course, I do have esports, some Super Cross 2000. I think it's a biking game. Jet Moto 2. I actually do like Jet Moto 2. That's a pretty good game. We have Pac-Man World, which is the 25th anniversary of Pac-Man. I have the remake on Switch. We have Metal Gear Solid. Oh, just kidding. That's WWE, I think. Yeah, it is. We have Supercross Circuit. I don't have many PS1 games. If there's any PS1 games that you guys like, you gotta pick it up. Go pick up the original Spyros. I will. For PlayStation 2, my original childhood system, which is still working to this day, we have ATV Off-Road Fury 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have Cars International, my brother's very first game he ever played, and Cars Race-O-Rama. Donald Duck Going Quackers was my first video game I ever played or have a memory of playing. It still works. It's pretty trashed up, as you can tell, being like 2 years old. That tends to happen. We have Hannah Montana, like I said, growing up with a sister. It happens. Lego Batman, awesome. Have it on 360 digitally. And 2 copies of Lego Star Wars, also awesome. Madagascar 2. MX versus ATV Unleashed, 2 copies of these because one of them doesn't work. We have Monster Jam. Oh, just kidding. There's no disc in this one. I don't have the game for it anymore. And I really liked it as a kid. Where did it go? I actually have a theory. I used to have 2 PlayStations growing up, the thick one and the thin one. The thin one's my original system, and I lost the thick one. Like, we sold the thick one. I think the bigger PS2 had this game inside of it, and I'll have to buy a disc of it at some point. We have Motocross Mania 3, and then Pac-Man World Rally, which is, this disc is scratched and hardly works, but I have it digitally. Think about it. We have Pac-Man World 2. Oh, it's so good. I hope it gets well, it's not great, but it's so good for me personally. I hope it gets a repack version at some point. We have Pac-Man World 3, which he talks in that one, so it's bad. No, it's actually okay, but I didn't like it as a kid. We have Pinball, just a pinball game, and some Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder. I don't know much about this, but childhood games, what are you going to do? Shrek Super Slam, which is Smash Brothers, and then Shrek 2. We have Ski-Doo, some snowmobile racing game, and then The GOAT, my favorite PS2 game, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. I will end up streaming this and the rest of the trilogy on stream at some point. Spider-Man, and of course Spider-Man 2 is over there. We'll talk about that later. We have Tak and the Power of Juju, which I think this actually is a Nickelodeon... Yeah, it's a Nickelodeon game or series that ended up getting a game before it got a TV show, which is kind of weird. Here it's okay, though. Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twinkies, and Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Jet Fusion. The Bible game, because, child. We have the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, which is okay. The Tale of Despero. Disney Pixar's Up. We have World... I found this in my grandma's, not attic, whatever, under the stairs. It's a poker game that my grandpa used to have, and we thought we lost it. Turns out it was under 18th flight of stairs. And then we have, I'll talk about these real quick before I finish off with the PS3. We have Spider-Man 2, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. I actually really like the new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. It was already on right there. Look at that. It's awesome. I have not played the PS2 games, though. And SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is great. Like I said, I have the remake as well on multiple platforms. I watched my brother playing it growing up. I actually didn't play it too much, but I know it's pretty good. Guitar Hero, a bunch of these Guitar Hero games. We have Guitar Hero, I can't read that font. We have Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock, Guitar Hero Van Halen, and Guitar Hero, the best one in my opinion, being World Tour. We have Ratchet & Clank Collection, which I did beat the first one. I want to play the rest of these games at some point, maybe on stream. We have Skyrim. We have the Sly Collection, the GOAT. And of course, it wouldn't be a PlayStation 2 or collection without, or PlayStation 3 collection without a golf game. Yeah, we're quirky like that. And we also have another Switch Online controller, being the failure to society. I'll put that up in a little bit. We have the Super Nintendo on Switch Online controller, which I love. I use this to play a lot of Game Boy Advance games on Switch. You can lean against the Vaporeon now. Hello, my friend. Come back to me. I'm picking you up. Hello. I'm just going to put you here for now. I'm sorry, guys. That was embarrassing. And that finishes it up for the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. And now we can get into the bigger collection, and more memorable at this point, being the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. So, we have some Metroid Dread amiibo up here, being the Emmy, and of course Samus in her Dread suit. I love Dread so much. It's so fun. I've beaten it like 3 times. For the PlayStation 4 collection, we do have A Hat in Time, which again, like I said, is my brother's favorite game. He's also trying to get a physical copy of every version of the game, like I did with Security Breach for our favorite games. We have Astrobot Rescue Mission, not the new PlayStation 5 game, but the VR one is great, and I love it so much. Arkham VR, we have Crash Bandicoot, what's that? Hang on, I'm gonna make it, there we go, I can hold my camera again. We have Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and Crash Team Racing Nitro Field. Doom VFR, the PlayStation version is great if you do have that VR aim controller. It is fantastic with the aim controller. On any other platform, it sucks. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I have not played Horizon Zero Dawn yet. Iron Man VR is awesome. It's got this awesome reversible cover art. Just Cause 3, and the Kingdom Hearts titles being, I actually have been playing them on stream through Steam, and I love it, kinda. I want to get back into them, but it's really hard to go back to them. We have Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memory, Lego Dimensions, another Toys to Life game. We have Little Big Planet 3, haven't played it yet, but I hear it's really good. Minecraft PlayStation 4. I'm actually trying to get every single version of Minecraft physically. I do love Minecraft a lot, and I am trying to play every single version ever released known to mankind. Aside from like mobile ports, you know, like I've played the iOS and Android version, so I'm gonna go after like the NVIDIA Shield version or the Apple TV, because those are just the mobile versions. We have Minecraft Story Mode Season 1 and 2. I've only played Season 1. We have Ni no Kuni 2, Overwatch 1, back when it was a good game. We have Persona 5 Royale. We have Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. PlayStation VR World, Ratchet & Clank PS4, which a lot of people don't like, a lot of people do like. I'm in the people who do like it, but haven't finished it. We have Riggs, which is a launch like PlayStation VR title. I haven't played it yet. I hear it was really bad, but I'm kind of interested nevertheless. We have Rocket League back before it was free, and Sonic Forces back when it was still bad. Guess what? It's still bad. You can get mods for it though now. We have Spider-Man with this awesome reversible cover art. I have this on PlayStation 5 and PC as well. Again, like I said, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Spyro, I finished that on stream. We have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Sonic Team Racing, which they announced a new Sonic Team Racing game at the Game Awards this year. We have Tomb Raider, Uncharted, and Uncharted 4. And then we get into the lovely PlayStation 5 collection, which isn't very much to talk about. So I'll kind of just go over the games in a little bit of detail for the ones I have actually played, because my brother plays PlayStation 5 more than I do. We have the lovely Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, the game I'm not going to play. Yeah, that's the game. Cult of the Lamb, I played that on stream. I saw a physical copy at Walmart for like $15, and I said, shoot, that's awesome. Demon Slayer, which, yeah, is Demon Slayer. I don't know how to pronounce the entire name, but it's such a good fighting game. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, like I said, it's awesome. We have Epic Mickey Rebrushed, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I hear is fantastic. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, the only PSVR 2 physical game I have. We have God of War Ragnarok, I did finish that last year. Kena Bridge's Spirits, I did not like it as much as I thought I was going to. I don't think I'm going to play it again. We have Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which is just Super Mario 3D World. We have Sonic Frontiers. My hands are shaking. I'm sorry, guys. Sonic Frontiers, as I said. Sonic Superstars. And then we have, this just came out recently. Let's talk about it. The best thing in the world. Sonic X Shadow Generations. Shadow Generations was fantastic. I loved it so much. I'm really bad at it, but I love Sonic X Shadow Generations. Have you guys seen Sonic Movie 3 yet? If you haven't, go watch it. What are you doing? It's a great game. And then we have some of the highlights being Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and behind that, a steelbook cover of Sonic Frontiers. My favorite PS4 and 5 games is probably going to be, back when Overwatch was good, probably Overwatch 1 on PlayStation 4. And then on PlayStation 5, it's going to be Astrobot. I have some Amiibo figures up here as well, being all these are new. I actually got these all for Christmas this year, being the Koopa Troopa, the Boo, and the Goomba. The Boo actually glows in the dark, which I will probably throw an image of right here. We do have, as well, the lovely NES Classic controller. I have the Nintendo Switch Online variant actually over on another shelf, with Glaceon defending it once again. We have another Game & Watch Amiibo as well. On top of this shelf is all the stuff that no one's ever to look at, being some more FNAF plushies, like a Golden Freddy Withered plushie, a Tomb Raider figure, and some Super Nintendo World hats. This park has not opened yet. I'm actually wearing a hoodie on it right now, but I'm a big fan of the theme park, and I hope I get to go see it at some point. We have a Metroid Prime Remastered pin set with the collector's edition of FNAF Security Breach. And I love it. Again, we'll talk about that later, I promise. But I ended up picking this up for like $30 because no one's buying the physical copies of it because it's Security Breach and it's broken. Best part is I like it. We have Vanny's plushie sitting up there with the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation VR 2 boxes with some of the Game & Watch boxes. And that does it for the physical media collection. I'm pretty stinking proud of it, and my hands are dying. So let's wrap this up and get to other stuff. And now we're on to where half of the magic happens regarding the main entertainment setup. Not the PC gaming setup. I'm very excited to talk about the stories behind where the water-cooled machine went, but just wait. We'll get into that at some point. But the main focus right now is every console in the collection, aside from the Game & Watches and the VR headsets, of course. So, the best place to start off is, of course, the boring stuff, and just go really quick over and talk about the stories of, oh, look at this. Do you remember why I have this controller? No, I don't. On the bottom, I have just all my miscellaneous random controllers that don't need charging or are just quick grab and goes, being an original PS2 controller, third-party PS2 controller, and PS3, and then the DualSense, which we have some fancier DualSenses up here that we just use those two instead of the original white one, so it's okay. We have the golden Xbox 360, the C3PO Xbox 360 controller here. I love it. Hi guys, you can see my reflection. Hi! But I do love this controller. It was the only official Xbox 360 controller we actually had in our collection. This is the controller I got when we got the special Star Wars edition. So I'll put that back here because all the controllers kind of fumble over. It tends to happen. We have, of course, a pink Xbox third-party controller and two nunchucks. I actually found out, I don't know, is it nunchucks or is it numchucks? I don't know, I think it's N-U-N, but I have no idea. And then we have three Nintendo Switch cards. I used to have four. I think the fourth one's upstairs somewhere, but I don't have the fourth one on me. But I have one of these that charges it. I never use these, but in case we're playing a game that could possibly use it, or I have a friend over who wants to use something that's not a Pro Controller or a GameCube controller, that's what we use. Of course, we've got, hello, it's me again. Oh, my big scary face. You know what? You're getting turned on for privacy's sake. That's right, Wii U Gamepad, you're being involved. Oh no, my TV channel. It's Final Fantasy later. We have a couple of things. This is my Wii U shelf right here. I'll just run Smash Bros for funnies. But we have some Wii remotes up here. The fourth one being over there, of course. We have two white ones, a black one, and a special Mario one. I love the Mario one. I wish I had the rest of the lovely Wii remotes and whatever it is. This is flashing. It's flashing. What have I done? What have I done? It's a flashing controller. It's a flashing Wii U gamepad. But the point is, I actually changed out my charger from last year. This is another third-party one, but my original charger wasn't working anymore, so I ended up actually just doing this, and it works a lot nicer. My original stylus actually got chewed up by an old pet of mine, so I ended up just using this 3DS one because they're the same thing. They really are. They really are the same thing, but who cares, you know? You know what? Stay right there. Enjoy your punishment, punk. I have an old Apple TV that I don't use anymore. It's really just there for Netflix because I use literally everything else on the Xbox Series X up there, my lovely media machine. But the Wii U gamepad, everyone, the dorkiest yet most comfortable controller I've actually used. I gotta be honest, I think it's the best controller for like long-term gaming if you're trying to use a big controller, but it's very nice. I like it a lot. Up top, we have the PlayStation shelf, being PlayStation 4, 3, and 5. We have two PlayStation 3 controllers over here, which never get taken out. I don't really play my PS3 anymore. I have some PlayStation 4 controllers. Again, don't use those because, yeah, I don't need them. I don't need them. But we got some red and some black. But of course, the star of the show is this fancy limited edition God of War Ragnarok Wolf controller. And I love it. It's very, very cool. I think it's very awesome. I found this. I actually want this one for a while because of the wolves on it. It's my go-to PlayStation 5 controller. Mostly just because the color scheme fits with Frost is Lost very well. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller in general. I picked it up at a GameStop at the Mall of America. They had it like pre-owned for, I don't know, about $90, which isn't bad because on eBay it's like $200. So I snagged a deal on it, I think. On top of that, we've got the Xbox One and Series X and Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons up here. I don't have a special Xbox controller at all. I just have... I don't even have my white one down here. My white controller is actually up in my room with my original Xbox One S. But I do have a red and a blue and a black controller over there. I usually go with the blue one. My brother usually goes with the red, but I think they're very cool. One of these is charging it, one of them is not. I just don't have the charger for this one. I just have it use it as a stand, but it's very nice. I do like it. I think it's very cool. I do like these controllers. They are usually my go-to PC controller aside from the DualSense, but they're pretty good. I have the Joy-Con chargers up here, which these never get used. I don't use Joy-Cons anymore. I use Pro controllers all the time. If it's not a Pro controller, I don't want anything to do with it. I really don't. I don't need anything to do with Joy-Cons at all. I'm interested in the Switch 2's Joy-Cons, but we'll see what happens. I also have a little like headphone adapter here just to have like this mute button on deck. I used to play a lot of stuff on Xbox parties. Now I just use Discord, so I don't really have a use for that at all. Up here, this got the most changes. This is where a bunch of stuff is stuffed into, aside from some hot, awful cable management. We have an Nintendo World Championships NES Edition fake cartridge. It's very golden and very shiny and very nice. It has even the NES-like cartridge cover for it in the back here. I have it hidden behind it. It's so cool. It's so pretty. I actually love it so much. That's why I got the physical copy of the game in the first place, because, oh, it's just so cool. It's so pretty. We have the NES Switch Online controllers. For $60, you get two. And they slide to the side of the Switch, which looks ridiculous. I'll put a picture of what that looks like up in the top right corner. But it's so great, and I love them so much. They were nice for certain games, being, well, obviously. But I don't know. I kind of just leave them on display these days. I don't use them much at all anymore. We have a Sprigatito plush that came from Japan. My buddy Saotami, once again, coming in clutch, bought this for me. So this year I actually got him an Urshifu plush from Japan. Urshifu was much more expensive than this was, but hey, it was very nice, and he's the #1 worldwide Urshifu in Pokemon Zinnia Unite. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. I don't know if I said that earlier, but I probably did. So please go support him. He's awesome. I have an Xbox 360 Star Wars Edition, the slim model, which actually does make R2-D2 sounds when you turn it on. It's pretty fun. I love it a lot. Here you go, another one. What were we playing? We were playing Disney Infinity. We have some late night gaming sessions where we have no idea what we're doing. It's great. I got this system back when my original Wii failed. I ended up picking up this system because my dad was like, oh, your Wii disk drive stopped working. Well, the only logical answer is to get a new system, so I got this one, and there were some good titles. I liked the Kinect titles as a kid. There was Minecraft and Rayman Origins and some other titles, Sonic Generations and Unleashed. So that was okay. It's definitely nothing I go back to anymore, but I know a lot of people are nostalgic for it. I'm not very much. We have my original PlayStation 2. It still works. My original PlayStation 2 Slim still works to this day. I still play games on it at some point, not very often. If I'm going to play a PS2 game, it's probably going to be on the PlayStation 5 for like the streaming or an emulation method, but I don't play it that much anymore. I have a lot of titles for it, but my brother plays it much more than I do. I don't think I've touched this thing in like 2 or 3 years.
We have the Nintendo Entertainment System Mini. I do not have the SNES Classic, only the NES Classic, and it mostly just sits on display. It's not used much at all because, you know, the Switch Online has a bunch of more NES games, if not the same ones. So it's very nice, but I still love it. It came with the nice NES controls, so I could play like NES Remix on Wii U. I got this at, I think I found it like a Walmart back when it was super difficult to find, so another lucky find early on into its release. Above that, we have just a simple HDMI collector box. You know, it just collects all the HDMI plugins. You know, there's actually an HDMI converter for the PS2 here, so I don't have to worry about that. But it just collects all the systems, and that's why the cable management over here is terrible. The cable management over there is pretty good, funny enough, but hey, that's what happens. It tends to be that way. So, we have, of course, above this is a PlayStation 3 Super Slim with the sliding mechanic on top. This little drive up here slides left and right with an Oculus 2. It's my brother's Oculus 2. I do not remember when we got this PlayStation 3. I remember having the original one and we played a lot of Guitar Hero on it, but this one we've had for the same amount of time I've had my Wii U. I think we got it around that time, and I don't play this one that much. I played like Ratchet and Clank on it once, maybe Sly Cooper on it once, but PS3 is definitely not a generation I think of very often at all, other than like Guitar Hero. That's all I play on the system. That's what these little drives are for here. Above the shelf, we have an X-Wing, as I pointed out earlier. This lovely Lego X-Wing, which I actually kind of forget it's there all the time. Something I never forget about, though, is the lovely Waluigi admiring you as you play a game he's not in. We love Waluigi. We love the way he sits up there. It's great. He's very dorky and fun. I love how I got him to be posed like that. We have a couple of things in regard to this TV. So this TV is old. It is not a 4K 120 FPS OLED. No. This is just a regular Vizio 1080p 60 FPS high 60 FPS TV. I've had this for 10 years. These speakers are a little spotty these days, but I do want to upgrade it at some point. It's on the bucket list of things to do. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. We have a Ryelu, whatever it's called. I couldn't pronounce it last year. I probably can't pronounce it this year, but I have a little Pokemon sleeping right on top here. We have a Wii sensor bar, as well as a PlayStation VR camera, or just the PlayStation 4 camera. It sits up here because I still sometimes play PSVR, not very often, but there is one party game, being Astro's Playroom, that's really nice for it. So it's fun. It's like the Mario Party for VR, and it's super fun to play. On the left here, finishing off this shelf, I also did not mention that over there, but I will in a second. Finishing off this shelf, we have a Papyrus poster, which was used a lot in Undertale, the Lost Undertale Yellow experience. And I'll put up a couple of clips and I'll point out where he is in a couple of the shots. In every single IRL shot, you will see Papyrus. He's even going to be in the next videos, being the Lost Undertale Yellow experience neutral and Vengeance. So keep an eye out for him in every single IRL shot, because he's in every single one. We have, this is from a video that was never released, Virginaire Therapist Expert. This is for a video, I believe it was also a part of the Games You've Ever Heard Of series. It was for Lucky's Tale, the VR version of the game. And I think I still have the clip of recording. Basically, it was on the back of a chair that my friend Raging Man sat in and spun around in and said a line. But that video never ended up getting made. We ended up kind of just scrapping the video because I never really liked the concept of the video in the first place, but the bits were funny, so maybe one day I'll return to that concept, who knows, but I left it up here just as a memory. Whenever you have paper gags, why not, right? It's stupid, it's funny, and these are only 2 papers in the room really, I don't know. In terms of other videos that got canned, there was a Five Nights at Freddy's fan games video that ended up getting canned, but I actually didn't, I don't know, I might still try to do another FNAF fan games video. I might try to do another, what's it? Games you ever heard of? I don't think I'm doing games you ever heard of, but there's a couple of videos. If I think about them, I'll tell you guys about it later on. Over here, like I said, I forgot to mention this with my echoey voice. This Tears of the Kingdom cape that's actually wearable. I will put a picture of what I look like in the top left of me in a full Link cosplay for the Renaissance Festival. I believe that was 2 years ago. And I did love it. I even kept the cape. I did not keep the outfit, but I kept the cape because the cape didn't smell like destruction. So I kept it. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun dressing up as Link because I didn't have to say anything, so I didn't have to be social, which was weird. But it was a lot of fun. I think it was a lot of fun to keep the cape around.
Okay, so moving on, we of course have this bottom shelf over here. We can finally start talking about my worst nightmare, but we'll talk about vinyl records first. Like I said earlier, I have this record player. It was actually new last year, but now I've had it for a year now. We have a lovely Celeste record in here, which I don't listen to much of my record player anymore, but it is here in case I do want to listen to it and kind of vibe as I'm, zoning out, writing something down, gaming something in like a corner, maybe playing my DS and I just don't want to be bothered, so I have the speakers going. We have the handheld line of systems here, being, the PlayStation Vita. This is new. The PlayStation Vita is new this year. I ended up picking it up at my local retro video game store. And I got it for a pretty good price. This is the original model that had a 3G cellular data card, and it even had I think it had like the 16 gigabyte storage. And I said, you know what, gotta have it because I've never played Minecraft on Vita. It's the only version I've ever played. Let's grab it. So I grabbed it. I had to find a weird way to get funds on Vita and played Minecraft. Obviously, I have it here. It's it works. And the Vita is cool. I understand why it lost the 3DS, but it was a very cool system, and I think that if you guys have a Vita, maybe try picking it up again. I have a modded original 2DS. You can tell it's been kind of scratched up and damaged over the years, mostly because I might have thrown it on the wall once or twice while playing Mario Kart. But it is modded, as I say, so you guys may notice that there might be a little bit of a picky software on this system that shouldn't be here, such as, well, Five Nights at Freddy's. There is a Five Nights at Freddy's version on 3DS from the fans that made it onto the system. This is my only modded system in my collection. Aside from my Wii U. My Wii U is also modded, but I don't really use it for its mods anymore. I don't really play much modded content at all these days, but I do have a modded system in case I want it. I have a PSP, a PlayStation Portable, which has, I only have one physical game for it, being Sonic Rivals. I found it also in my retro game store, and I said, you know what? I need the one game. I need that one game, which should just be fun. There's a couple of. This is also a hacked system. This is my dad's original system from like 20 years ago. Is that system that old? I can't imagine it is. But I don't use it pretty much ever. I played Sonic on it once and said, okay, that was cool. My brother's 2DS XL, the new Nintendo 2DS XL with Mario Kart 7 running on it, came with it digitally. This came out after the Nintendo Switch launched, and it was like, whoa, it looks cool because it looks like a smartphone. And then people realized that it was just another 3DS, and everyone said that was dumb. So, thanks Nintendo. We have my sister's original Nintendo DSi, the pink model, still works. The triggers do not work anymore. I remember I used to sneak into her room and try to play carnival games because apparently carnival games was really good. It was not. We have a Nintendo Labo VR headset, my first VR headset I ever got. The Labo games are okay. I actually do like, I played some of Breath of the Wild in this headset just for, having fun, but if you have a Labo headset or you want to try some of the VR experiences on Switch, pick up like a cheap plastic one on Amazon. They have this, you can play like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, or you can play, Mario Odyssey, like little mini games, VR mini games. It's kind of cute. It's a one and done thing, really. You don't have to worry about it much at all. There is a sun and moon. This actually is flippable, and it goes to moon in the back here. You can flip it around, and it came with the special edition of FNAF Security Bridge. And I just kind of flip it around every now and then. If I don't flip it around according to the day, because I forget about it often, but it's something you can mess around with often, and it's very cool. This little figure came with my GPU for my water-cooled machine. This, this Extreme Aorus, little figurine. It's kind of cool, but I just kind of leave it around. I don't know, it might not stick in this setup for much longer, but I just have it here for memory's sake. We have a little cute fox, we have a little cute fox Lego set, which also I believe was in last year's, but hey, it's still cute. And we have the Video Game Console 2.0. You can't see the number back here, but it's just a book that covers a bunch of old systems. Well, not old, just, yes, old. It covers systems from the first generation all the way up to the Xbox Series X and PS5. Not the Slim model, so it's not super up to date anymore, but it does have most of the systems. Below this shelf, we have some of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion, as soon as the camera focuses. we have the Xenoblade shelf, featuring some of the amiibo such as Pyra, Mithra, Shulk, Noah, and Mio, with some of their coasters, which I got on my Nintendo as well. You know, like the team and the Xenoblade 3 coaster set. Fight to live, live to fight. It's very cool. I like it a lot. My camera is not focusing, so I'm gonna actually, you know what? We're gonna do something funny. And thus, I was a wizard and started a new recording. So, Xenoblade, am I right, guys? Let's talk about it. Like I said, have all the amiibo, you know, Pyra, Mithra, Shulk, Noah, Mio, and the coasters. But I'm a big fan of Xenoblade. I'm bad at RPGs. I am very, very bad at RPGs, but I adore Xenoblade, mainly for its story. That's why I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles X, but I'm going to play it when it comes out on Switch, because they just announced it like 2 months ago that's coming to Switch. So I'll play it when it comes out on Switch. I'm a big fan of Xenoblade, so I'm going to give it another shot on whenever it comes out. But I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles 2. My brother picked up Xenoblade X when we were younger, and I got Xenoblade 2 for Christmas one year, and I tried playing it. I didn't get it. And I got Xenoblade 1 another year, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good! And I sat down, and the characters are awesome, and the story is awesome. I suck at the gameplay. I had to grind forever, and I just never understood the combat. I understood 3's... I'm kidding. I was bad at all of them. I'm a big fan of Xenoblade. They are definitely one of my favorite video game series of all time. I played all the DLCs, all the games. I have all of them. There's actually one Xenoblade game I'm missing, being Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Trophy, which is just a physical copy of the DLC for 2. And I do want to get it picked up at some point. I haven't picked it up yet because I would like to play DLC again, because DLC and Xenoblade, you can't make a new game plus. You just have to just kind of reset your save file. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to reset. I want a new game plus. But I picked all up the different versions. You know, Xenoblade 1 on Wii, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on 3DS, which is very impressive what they got on handheld. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, when that came, you know, just all of them. They're all great. If you're interested in any of these games, I actually highly recommend just picking up 3 and just playing 3, because 3 doesn't actually really revolve around the first 2 until the very, 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 very end. So don't worry about it. It's kind of how they all apply. They don't really connect to each other unless you're playing the DLC, so don't sweat it. Try them out. I'm serious. They're a lot of fun. Now we have my dark secret. Yes, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Let's talk about this. I am known on my Twitch channel for speedrunning Security Breach. I'm not just that game, but it got me big and back into streaming. I had been on a very down low moment, but like when Security Breach came out, I was actually just kind of not streaming at all. I wasn't really doing well mentally, and this game did not fix that, but it did kind of inspire me to come back to streaming. And I was like, oh my god, this game is so bad. I love it. I thought the glitches were funny. I thought the characters were funny. I thought the story was bad, so I obviously had to keep going. I can still hear the PSP crying because this drive. Turn off, you fool. Turn off. Shut off. Shut up. But I'm a big fan of Security Breach, to the point where I picked up every single version: Steam, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and I even tried. I never got to play the Google Stadia version because I never had a Google Stadia account, and I didn't care, right? Because if you want to play that version, just stream it off your phone, dude, from your PlayStation to your phone. Like, what? But I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of this game series. I always have been. And Security Breach, I got to the point where I was able to beat it deathless, which I'll have an iCard to that video. Don't go watch it yet, but it's definitely a video to go check out, of course. And I did that this year. It's a very big moment. I love this game so much. Its glitches, its story, its bad lore, its mods are awesome. I'm very excited to see more from the modding community, but it's great. So let's get into the show. Let's talk about it. We have a bunch of really close. We have some of the Funko plushies, such as Montgomery Gator, Roxanne Wolf, Freddy Fazbear, Glamrock Freddy, and then we have Glamrock Chica. There's a bunch of pins on them as well, you may notice, which all also came from the special edition of the game. This steelbook cover also came with it, as well as this Mr. Hippo fridge magnet as well came with it as well. So it was cool. This little Vanny U2's figure is the only U2's figure I have in my collection. It is kind of cool, but I don't exactly know why U2's is so big. It's kind of cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of their style. I'm just like, you know what? I'll have the one. Just the one. We have some drinks. There's a store called FYE. nearby me, and they just sell a bunch of really random individual like video game merchandise sometimes. So they had different flavors for all the FNAF characters, like limited edition Fizzy Faz for, you know, Monty and Roxy. The best one was definitely Roxy's because it was just off-brand Coca-Cola. And then there was like the Glam Rock Freddy's was just orange, you know, orange juice. Chica had pink lemonade, soda. It's all soda, but it's just random. But I loved it. It was kind of weird, but interesting. We have a FNAF trading card. They did these little trading card posable stand things, and I had Springtrap. You know what? He's cool. He goes on display. I have a bunch more hidden in the back there, but we're not going to show those off. There's a FNAF Security Breach box that held Vanny back here. Just kind of have that on display. And hidden way in the back is actually a survival logbook and the FNAF movie on DVD. Did you guys watch the FNAF movie? Did you like it? I loved it because I've been waiting for it since I was a kid. So I'm very happy that finally came out. And that would be the rest of this shelf. I'm a big fan of Xenoblade and big fan of FNAF. But let me know what you guys think about those two game series in the bottom. I know, very, very different games. What's going on here? Moving on to the final shelf of the day, aside from the PC setup, is the modern systems, because that was basically all the classic systems and all the controllers and chargers or whatever. This is very much more all the modern stuff and the last bit of the room. So again, we'll start with the boring stuff and hop right down here into the dusty cobwebby area. And there's just a couple of controllers down here with two headsets and the Ring Fit controller. I'll talk about Ring Fit a little bit. It's actually a really heavy workout. If you're looking for a workout that's gaming, definitely try out Ring Fit Adventure. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun, but I don't have the time for it, so I don't really play it that much because I'm like, I'll go play Xenoblade or FNAF Security Breach instead. Just some basic, you know, flash drives or whatever down there. Not too much, just some extra storage. Here is a bunch of controllers. I'm gonna choke to death. A bunch of controllers down here that are just for random systems that did not have, you know, don't have chargers or they don't need to be plugged in constantly. These are basically emergency controllers or just some GameCube stuff. So again, we have some Mario control, you know, a third-party Mario controller. We have an official Pro controller down here that I don't use. I use a custom one. I'll show you guys later. An emergency Xbox One controller. A GameCube controller. This used to be my go-to one because it felt the nice. It didn't have any like stick issues at all. My Frost one does, but I still use the Frost one because it looks nice. I have an Atari CVS controller. This is my Steam Deck controller that I use. Another GameCube controller back there, as well as the Wii U Pro controller, which was, I know some people had some issues with it. I'm okay with it personally. And then we also have the Atari Classic CVS controller. I don't use that one much either. Just a bunch of emergency controllers down here. Above this, yeah, now we're talking. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. So we have the lovely Nintendo Switch Lite, Steam Deck, Nintendo Switch Original from 2017, and the Wii U. Let's tackle these one at a time. So this is new to my collection. This right here is the Nintendo Switch Lite. This is brand spanking new to the collection. This came, I found this, I think in March or July at my local GameStop. It was in very, very good condition. I found it for a good price. It's the Pokemon Sword and Shield version. And I said, you know what? I can clean it up. I can take good care of it for like 200 bones. That's perfectly fine. I didn't care about the box. I want to get a stand for it at some point, but it's mainly my Metroid and just kind of, you know, sit back and play some old retro games machine. I really don't use it that often, but it's a very cool collectible to have. I've always wanted to have a Switch Lite. Above it is my Steam Deck. This has gotten a lot more use this year. I definitely need to change out the storage at some point, but I do love the Steam Deck. It's very, very cool. It's very powerful. I've been playing lots of Forza Horizon 4 on it recently, but of course I have FNAF Into the Pit running on at the moment. But it's very cool. I do love the Steam Deck. It's got the official docking station with it as well. I played mostly just a bunch of stuff I'm not going to stream. It's very nice for trips where I'm like, you know what, I'm playing something on Steam and I'm just getting out of here. So I play some Doom or Forza on it, or I actually played lots of Bloons TD Battles 6 when my water-cooled machine was down on this thing, so it's very convenient. Over here we have my brother's original Nintendo Switch from 2017, so this is almost 8 years old now, which is crazy to think about. It is definitely still going, it still works, but he doesn't really use it that much anymore. Yeah, I'll talk more about the Switch later on, but I do have this little
grip on it. It's not the Satisfy grip. I don't remember what it is, but I do have some sort of grip on it. My original Wii U, which is actually, I gotta be honest, I love the Wii U. I think it's great. I love the system so much. It's got some great titles: Smash 4, Splatoon, Mario Maker, Nintendo Land, NES Remix. There's a lot of great titles on this. I remember lots of multiplayer stuff on it. Miiverse used to be cool. I got this back, I remember it was garage sale season as a kid, and I was like, Father, I must get a Wii U from GameStop. He was like, all right, fine. All right, fine, I don't care, fine. So I ended up getting this back in like 2015, early 2015 probably. And yeah, I've held on to it ever since. When I move, and I'll get to that later, I'll probably not gonna end up taking this with me. I'll let my brother keep it, but very special memories to it. I love this system. I still turn it on every now and then. I love it to death, love it to death. Moving on to the Nintendo Switch OLED, as well as my GameCube, with a couple of Pokemon novelties around here. I do have the Splatoon 3 Switch OLED. This is my main Switch that I play on. I have, like I said, you guys already saw my brother's Switch, and of course, the lovely Nintendo Switch Lite. But this is my main Switch I play on. I've got 512 gigabytes of storage on it as well. So I have pretty much everything installed on that. That's my main system. It's probably still my favorite system at the moment. Like, my favorite system of all time is the 3DS, but I love this. I waited out outside of GameStop for I think 3 hours on launch day of this because they didn't let you do any pre-orders online for any of the systems around where I was. So I ended up actually just waiting outside of GameStop, and there was no one else waiting but me. So it was all right. But I got this Pokemon, Alolan Vulpix plush back here, sticking its head out at you when you play your Switch. I love it. With a little bit of an Eevee plush, and of course a Rock Eevee 3D print. I don't think this is going to stick around the collection much longer, but I left it here today just for one more year. I love the Switch. It's got some of the best games ever, in my opinion. Breath of the Wild. It's got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's got Splatoon 3. There's so much stuff, I have so much fun. Mario Party, all the Xenoblade games, the Metroid games, the Pikmin games. This system's great. I'm very, very excited for Switch 2. I've been paying attention to too many of the leaks and going, wow, I can't wait. It's going to get announced in January, but we're going to find out if it gets announced in January or not. I'm very excited to see what happens with it. I do have an unofficial GameCube controller adapter. It works for my PC as well, so it's kind of why I got this one. I do want to get the official one at some point, but whenever I'm playing Smash Ultimate, or I'm playing like Dolphin, or if I'm playing some, I have actually Nintendo on here, so if I want to play it on there, I have a bunch of different options with this thing, but mostly this is just used for Smash Ultimate. I do have a Platinum GameCube here with a 8-bit DOE controller adapter. This can be used for connecting your Switch controllers to PC, or connecting a multitude of controllers to the Switch, like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox and whatever you desire. You can connect most controllers to it. I don't use this much anymore. In fact, I don't think I'm going to leave it up here anymore. I'm probably just going to put it down there in the extra shelf. But I do love my GameCube. I don't play it that much. It's really just more on display, but I do love my GameCube. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, Luigi's Mansion. I love Double Dash, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Mario Party 5, 6, and 7 are fantastic. Love those titles. But yeah, I don't play too much. Just don't have many titles for the system, as GameCube collecting has gotten so expensive. But this is the model that has both ports on it, so I can get the fancy HDMI fan adapters to make it look really nice. I don't have that at the moment. It's just running through the AV cables, but it's okay. I don't mind it. I don't really stream anything off of this thing. This is more like my Luigi's Mansion machine. Whenever it's Halloween, I don't want to stream. That's all this machine is for. That's okay. No problem with that. Again, I have another one of these HDMI boxes. You can see there's only one thing going through it, which is the PlayStation 5 with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But, of course, moving on, did I mention the Eevee? I don't know if I mentioned the Eevee. I have this little Eevee light on here, which can change the colors if you touch the back. This is a gift from my little cousin. Shout out to you, my friend. And I love it. I think it's very cute. It kind of lights up this area a little bit. I kind of like it. It's pretty neat, but I leave it on pretty much all the time. I think it was like some cheapo, I think you bought like the mall or whatever, but I think it's cute enough to leave in my setup. It's very much not official, but hey, it's pretty nice.
Above here is the main stage for the new, the next generation of systems, being the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. I do not have the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I also do not have the updated Series X with 2 terabytes of internal storage. I will explain why. I'm not too interested in the PlayStation 5 Pro because it doesn't have a form of playing physical media unless you shell out another $70. I don't think that's worth it. I don't play it enough to warrant picking it up. I probably will when I move, and I'll let my brother keep this system, but it's such a, it's such a not needed thing that I'm like, why would I ever, why would I ever? I have this one, I probably will be eating my words next year, and I'll have one just because it's the quote-unquote better one, even though, it's probably not that much of a difference. Also, I have a 1080p screen. Why would I I only stream at 1080p too. You can't stream in 4K yet on Twitch, so I have no reason to go all out, But I love the PlayStation 5. It's definitely, this generation of systems is definitely weird. There's not too many games coming out for these systems, which is weird. There's some good stuff. Like I said, Astrobot, Spider-Man 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, all fantastic games. Love those titles. 100% all of them multiple times. But I also have all of them on PC as well, so it's really hard to love this system. We'll talk about the Series X real quick. Actually, I'll talk about one last thing. I have a 5 terabyte hard drive for both of these systems. You can see one back there and there's one back here. But I also have just put in a new 2 terabyte SSD into this machine, which I never had for like 4 years. This system is almost is this system 4 years? This system's 4 years old now, guys. Isn't that crazy? Like, there's nothing on these systems and they're 4 years old. Like, how? How is, whatever, it's fine. I have the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series X was definitely my more preferred system at launch because all my friends are Xbox players. This is before I was had a super powerful PC that could run anything at, Mach speed. But this was definitely my preferred method of playing games. I love Forza Horizon 4 and 5. Fortnite was pretty cool on the system. But Xbox doesn't have too much to offer. Mainly it was just my Game Pass machine, so I played a lot of indies on this title. On the system, just tons of indies, or I tried the Star Wars, there's just not much on the system that speaks to me, but I'm still a big fan of Xbox, so I still have it sitting around here, of course. I still go back to it every now and then. This is really just my big media machine because it's easy to deal with, but I don't know. I'm excited to see where Xbox goes from here, too. I don't know if they're going to last much longer, but we'll see what happens. Of course, I've been ignoring the main thing being this 3D printed Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Master Sword. This was a gift from an artist 3 years ago, I think, at this point, and I still leaving it in the setup, the same person who did the Rock Evolution. It looks so good. I still haven't gotten rid of it. I think it's awesome. I'm just gonna leave it here. I don't know if I'm going to move it to the Zelda shelf at some point, but I'm just gonna leave it get propped up against the systems. I think it looks awesome. I think the paint is cool. One day I'd like to get an official one that's metal and looks super cool, hanging on the wall right here. But for now, it's staying right there. Above this shelf, we do have a couple of things, namely the most notable being the Eevee, the giant life-size Eevee with the PlayStation VR 1 attached to it. So I didn't have room to put the PlayStation VR back over there anymore, and I wanted to prioritize having just kind of a cool display VR headset. I've always wanted one of those mannequin heads that makes the VR headset looks really good, but you know what? I already had one, so this is what I did. I got a fancy Eevee and put Cappy on there, which looks pretty cool. And there's also some more Lego stuff up here, like the BB-8 Lego, which actually its head moves and whatever. It's kind of neat, but it's really hard for me to get up there, so I'm not really gonna mess with it too much. I have the PlayStation VR aim controller. I talked about this earlier. This is a fantastic controller. It doesn't have too many games to play on it, but if you do play Doom VFR, please play with this controller. You can actually find these controllers at GameStop for $20 brand new because no one bought these controllers. I am serious one. This is one of the greatest VR controllers ever made. We have the Xbox 360 Kinect up here that kind of stands and watches you as you play the whole area. I don't actually play Kinect much at all. I had the room for it, but it's obviously just up there in case I really care. I think it's probably gonna get taken down at some point because this cable is really annoying and gross, but it's okay. I have a lot of cable management that I could fix, blah, 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 all this, whatever, but it stays up there for now. It's kind of neat how BB-8 is watching you. Anyway, there's one last thing over here that I'll talk about, being this little Sonic Mania like shifting image poster or whatever it is. My brother put this on here. I think it looks pretty cool. Wish it was a little bigger, but it's just a small new add-on to the room. All these cables travel back into this HDMI box and then go into the back of the shelf where it comes out this bottom and goes all the way across the floor to my magnum opus where all the magic happens. Now, I think is a great time to start talking about my PC setup. I will get into the specs in a little bit. I will put the specs on screen as well as I name it. But for now, let's talk about everything else and let's talk about some stories and let's talk about what's going on. Obviously, the first thing you guys might be thinking is how powerful it is and where did your water-cooled machine go? So, last year, I built a full custom water-cooled machine. It was very powerful, had a 3080 with a Ryzen 9 and 32 gigabytes of RAM alongside some SSD storage and, you know, all this power. And it was fantastic. It was a monster. It was an absolute monster of gaming. However, you guys may also know, if you were in the Discord or whatever, that it suffered from crashing a lot. It had a lot of hardware issues and it also had a lot of leaking. I had to fix so many leaks, so many crashes, and so many issues at that machine that at some point it just became so expensive that the machine almost doubled in price just in repairs alone. So I called that original machine one frozen PC. And it's just gone. It's in pieces. It is in pieces all over the house. There's certain parts that still made in this machine, such as the 4K capture card down there. And this is the same motherboard as I originally used. It's a Prime. I'll put what motherboard it is on later. But this machine is more powerful than than that machine ever was, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But like I said, my original machine, my water-cooled machine with very, very expensive parts that ran super quietly and it was super cold and it was super nice, just had too many issues and it just didn't have any more reason to stay in the setup. And I just said, you know what, new build, it's never crashed on me, so we'll get to you in a little bit. But for now, let's talk about this, all right? This is my desk setup. This is very new. My Stream Deck, which is very difficult to see all the screens, hopefully it focuses at some point, but this is new. I have yet to mess with anything on it, but you can touch these buttons and you can like go quickly pull up like a Google tab or your files. You can go to your links, pull up your YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok and whatever, and you can customize however you want it fit. I have yet to actually mess with this. I'm very excited to mess around with it and learn all about the Stream Deck, as I've had some times on stream where I am in a full screen game and it lags really badly when I'm trying to like change scenes on OBS. So it's very nice to have this so I don't have to mess with the lagging stuff anymore. It just makes my life a little bit easier. I have yet to mess with this at all. It's default settings to default settings. Nothing has changed about that. And I'm going to continue working on that. I'm going to learn all about it in a little while. This keyboard is new. This came in, I got this about 2 weeks ago, and it's very, very quiet. It's very, ooh, you hear that? It's very nice. So I ended up getting this keyboard and replacing my original white one because my white mechanical keyboard was loud and it bled into this microphone all the time. And I hated it. It was getting into my videos, it was getting into my streams, and it was satisfying to press, but at the same time, I wanted something a little more quiet and satisfying, you know. I wanted something more, you know, hidden and lovely. So I got this glorious keyboard, which is a very expensive keyboard brand that specializes in, well, obviously, keyboards. So I picked it up at Best Buy. They had a sale going on. I picked up these keycaps and replaced all the keycaps to be this kind of blue color. And let me know if you think it's ugly. I think it looks cool. My brother's like, it's ugly, and I'm like, you're a hater? But I think it's okay. One of these days, I'd like to actually change out this desk mat to be white and blue or something, but I don't know if they do that for this desk. I have to do some research on it, but at some point I'd like to change out this mat to actually be white so it kind of fit with this whole setup a little bit more. I have back here some speakers, these basic Red Dragon speakers. I don't remember the brand, I don't remember like what they are, but they're just basic, like 20 bucks speakers. I don't use speakers that often unless I'm showing my brother something that I'm working on. I'm like, hey, look at this. Yeah, I'll play the speakers. They sound fine, but I don't really use them that often. I have this I have the 3 Yarn Yoshi amiibo with this little curvy clip I got from a Japan store in the Mall of America. Hello, friend, you tried to escape from me. As well as a light up fox that I was given as a gift from the person who did all the 3D prints for my room. I think it's very cool. It still sits there. I love the foxes. Like I said, you guys have got to keep an eye out for all the foxes throughout the room. But yeah, I do like all those little details. Over here, this is new. This Alolan Vulpix plush was given to me by Earned Acrobat. He went to a anime convention, I believe, and found this plush. I think it was 50 bones and just gave it on to me. It's very, very soft. It's all like homemade or handcrafted. I think it looks super good, super cute. I love it a lot. And of course, this is not a part of it. This is the Cult of the Lamb crown, and I got this also at an anime convention. And I picked it up, and I had a purple one, but I forgot it at the convention. I think I gave it to a friend, and I just never ended up getting the purple one back. But it looks really cool. You can actually wear it on top of your head. I don't have any images of me wearing it, but it sits up there. It is a little, you know, floppy. It can flop down or whatever, so I have a little bit of like this Velcro padding inside of it to make it, you know, stay a little bit better. Here is, as well, my VR microphone. I'll pull it out real quick for you guys. This connects to my headset through a magnet, and it allows my microphone in VR to sound much, much better. I'm still tinkering with it because it doesn't sound that great, but I think it's because my filters aren't perfect yet. So I'll just keep messing with the filters, and I don't stream VR enough to really worry about it just yet. I do have this custom GameCube controller. This was a gift for my 18th birthday 2 years ago. I took off the shells of this GameCube controller because I said I didn't want 2 purple GameCube controllers, and gave it to a friend who had his father paint it with car paint. And car paint is not a great idea for customizing controllers, but I will admit it looks great. It's not the nicest to play with, but it feels good. It still has the nice clicky buttons, and it's got the original Frost's Lost logo sticker on there, which my logo is different nowadays, but it still looks really good. And I think it's nice because it is an official controller shell, and it feels great to play with, but it is slippery because it is car paint. You know, it's not really designed to be in the hands of someone, but still very, very cool. So I have Vulpix playing with it on every single stream. You can see him on every single stream just on his hands. It's very cool. Over here, I do have this basic Red Dragon mouse. I don't know what it is, but it's just a basic, I think it's probably like a maybe $30 mouse. That has been in my setup for a little while. It's worked fine, no problems with it. I'm not really much of a mouse guy, so maybe at one point I'll get like some fancy mouse that's wireless. I'd actually like to do a lot of wireless stuff, but one day I'll like prioritize like super hiding all the cables, as if that's hiding any of the cables. So of course I do have this Blue Yeti microphone. This has been with me for 4 years now. Maybe 3 years. Yeah, I don't know, probably 4. It's been around for 4 years, and I've been through a lot with it. You know, it's been very nice. I have this Elgato mic arm. You know, it's very nice to kind of pull it out and whatever. Makes my life easy. If I'm playing a console game, I can push it away, or, you know, and it fits right over my keyboard. So it kind of just sits out here as per usual. I don't have a mic pop filter. I don't know if I will grab one. I probably should, but it's very nice. It's a very nice $100 mic. It's pretty much had no issues aside from, you know, I've had to mess around with the filters a couple times and do whatever I need to do with that. I do have a really, really cheap phone charging display from Engineer. You know, I have a really nice, it's cheap, but it works. I'm gonna get a better charger, I think, in the next time I show you guys, but it was like 20 bucks at the grocery store. I said, you know what, I want a nice thing that's a good display, and then I realized it was really cheap, and it sounds like this. Yeah, it's not very nice, but you know what, it does what it needs to do sometimes, so you know what, it's all good. I have my 3DS on standby here, playing Animal Crossing New Leaf, my favorite game on the system. I love my 3DS, like I said, and I'll talk about that a little bit. I got this system back in 2015, maybe like halfway through the year. right, like really close to when they launched it. And I love this system. Love Animal Crossing New Leaf, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. The Pokemon games were pretty great. You know, Smash Bros was awesome. There was so many great titles on this system, but it has definitely seen its fair state of use. You can see these aren't dust, these are pretty bad scratches. As I had one time, the day after I got it, it fell out of my pocket. I was trying to show it to my best friend as a kid, fell onto the concrete, and after years of use, it is really starting to chip away with its paint. But I still love this system. It still works great, but its card reader is starting to struggle, and its battery is pretty bad, but it's pretty great. I still love the system. One of these days, I'd like to fully paint it or get a new system that's like blue, but I still hang on to this one because of all its memories I used to have with it. I actually used to have a 2DS before this one, and then I just upgraded to this one. Back here, we have... This might be new to this collection this year. I don't know if I showed it to you guys last year. I am a major YonKaGor fan. YonKaGor is a music artist. I will put a link to his channel or their channel in the description. They do lots of singing and music videos and whatever. Their music videos are awesome. I have both their plushies. They're just fun. I just love having them in the setup. Of course, there's another fox sitting back here as well. Like I said, search for the room, you'll find a bunch of foxes. I believe there is a Mercy pin on here back when Overwatch used to be fun. I have that little Mercy pin because Mercy was my main because no one else would do it. And of course I have these two lights, one here and one here. These are kind of nice, kind of mid. I don't know if I'm going to change this out with the Elgato lights. Let me know if there's any good lights out there that I should be looking for. I think these are okay though. They stand up pretty well. They function with what they need to do, but I might be changing them out next year. Who knows? Of course, I'm ignoring the big part of it, being my monitors. So, my monitors, I have, this one is a 32-inch 2K resolution 165 hertz monitor that I'm running at 2K 120 hertz. And alongside it is a 1080p 144 hertz, which I'm also running at 120 hertz, so they both have the same refresh rate here. I keep all my OBS stuff on here, all my Discord stuff, and all like the little stuff on here while I play whatever game is on here, being console stuff, being Marvel Rivals, you know, being whatever I want to play on here, it is on this monitor while everything else stays over here. Eventually, I kind of like to redesign this, maybe my next game room or next PC setup, just to have two horizontal monitors side by side and just kind of play on one and then have the other one much bigger and easier to deal with. Like, I like vertical monitors, but they are a little tiresome and kind of, you know, weird to finagle with, and it's not something I really recommend, but vertical monitors are really cool. Of course, if you guys have noticed, there is an Undertale live background here. They hang in there. It's kind of cool. All right, but I also have one more thing I'll kind of talk about before we get up to the behemoth. I guess three more things. I have this little webcam. This is for tracking my VR avatar, you know, my lovely VR model. It is a very cheap camera. It's my first camera I ever got. I remember I did a face reveal playing like Among Us back 4 years ago, and the camera looks awful, and it still looks awful, but the good news is it tracks my face good, so it's okay. This is my main camera right here. This lovely, I think it is a Logitech, I wish the camera would focus, the Logitech Brawl 4K, I think it's 4K 60 FPS. It's a pretty good webcam. I might upgrade it at some point later on, but it's okay. Below it is this little, badge of the original Frost design. He has since been updated, but I do not have a sticker or a badge of his new design. I'll put his new design here and here and here and here and here. So eventually I'll get a fancy new design at some point. Who knows? Of course, the final shelf of the day, which I'm going to do a cool transition. Whoa. Oh, this is cool. So here's the Splatoon shelf. The Splatoon shelf has a full collection of every single Splatoon amiibo, being the full Splatoon 1 set with the Inkling Boy, Inkling Girl, Inkling Squid, and their alts, as well as the Splatoon 2 set with the Inkling Boy, Inkling Squid, and Inkling Girl. In the back there, with the Octoling set of Octoling, you know, it just goes on. But of course, Splatoon 3 did a little bit differently. It did the, There's just, I think they just called it Inkling. And then this is Small Fry, of course. And we do have another one. I don't remember the name of this one, but it's okay. All their names are kind of lame. They're just kind of cool figures in the first place. I have every single manga released in North America. I don't really read them anymore. I read like the first, I don't know, 10. And nowadays I don't read them because they all fall as the power of friendship. But it's kind of cool. I have all the Splatoon manga aside from the comedy series. I also don't have the art books anymore. If I got an art book, I'd probably put it like right here or something. But right now that space is kind of open for just extra cable management or whatever. Of course, I'm ignoring a big thing, being my go-to custom Splatoon 3 Pro controller. This is my constant go-to every single day from playing Nintendo Switch. I thought that their custom, I thought that the special edition Splatoon 3 controller looked pretty bad. It was just like the bottom grips and then like a couple of black splats on it, and I wanted to do something different. So I got this shell off of a website called Extreme Ray. I will put a link to them in the description as well. And it's very nice. It's very nice. This main body is glossy, but this is a matte. You know, both the grips are matte. You replace all the buttons, all the sticks, and the triggers. It looks very good. It's even see-through on the back. I think it's a fantastic controller. I use it all the time, and I'm still going to use it when the Switch 2 comes out. Hopefully they do custom shells for Switch 2 controllers. Can't imagine why they wouldn't. We also have the alt skins for Pearl and Marina and Callie and Marie sitting up here. I don't know why she's kind of angled like that. That's weird. But these just came out this year, so it's awesome to have them in the collection. Behind them is Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, and Splatoon 3. I'm very, very much a fan of these games. I love Splatoon 1. Got that as the first game I ever pre-ordered as a kid. You can see it's a little damaged here. Hopefully I can get a new case, but I don't know. I think it adds flair. Splatoon 2 it also has a damaged cartridge, but it still works. And Splatoon 3 is flawless for now. So I can't wait for Splatoon 4 or whatever they choose to do with the series from now on, but I'm a big fan of it. Still play it to this day. Actually, before we get to the computer, we still have these other ones. We have Callie Marie, Pearl Marina, and of course the Off the Hook gang being Big Man Shiver and Fry. I love these guys. These are the only amiibo sitting up there. There's nothing else up on that desk, or up on the top of the PC. Just a couple of amiibo because I wanted to kind of give them more room to breathe, you know? I have this, I believe it's almost wood, it's kind of wood, this Super Nintendo World logo. That is such a cool addition to the room, and I love that I got this. I got this at the, teaser, like the Epic Universe experience thing that they had at Florida. The park is not open yet, but if you go there, you can get yourself some merch, like the merch I was wearing earlier, as well as this, and those hats I showed you earlier as well. It's very cool. I love this a lot. It did fall once when I was trying to take to my original PC. You can probably tell that the R has some scratching and scuffing on it, but it's just a little bit of a cheap thing. But it still looks really cool from a distance, and I think it's an awesome piece of the collection that I'm never gonna get rid of. Of course, I have been avoiding the biggest part of this. Let's talk about Badassatron. Badassatron is my new hybrid cooled machine. It has a Corsair AIO, and if I name these wrong, I'm gonna name them correctly in the editing process with the top right corner or top left, who knows where I decide to put the editing. It's got a 4070 super overclocked, I believe, with a 2-fan cooling, yes, but usually the fans don't run because it doesn't have to try, it doesn't have to heat up at all. It's got 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM from T-Force, as well as, like I said earlier, it's got the Elgato capture card. I don't know the name of the prime motherboard, but I'll throw it on there as well. I've also got the Ryzen 9, don't remember what it is, I think it's a Ryzen 9, can't remember the numbers, but I'll throw them on the stream as well. And of course, you guys can totally see that there is a lovely Frost doing a little dance on there. That emote is done by the lovely and amazing Junie, so go check out their Twitch streams. They specialize in all these emotes. And I can change that to any GIF or any video I want. It's super cool. Right now I just have it as a little splish splash emote at the moment. But yeah, it's very cool. I think it's a lot. The fans kind of fade from white to blue. You can see that. Very, very cool.
It's got 8 terabytes of hard drive storage and then 4 terabytes, really 3, of SSD storage. Very, very confident and powerful. It's much more powerful than my original machine. I'll put the original machine specs, the water cooled build on the other side of the screen and kind of talk about that a little bit there. This machine was roughly 2,000, 3,000 to build. It was a very, very expensive build, but you know, I'd rather have a working machine than nothing that functions out. And the good news is I got to use my old Windows and all my old data. And at first we thought, oh, he's got a virus. Oh my God. No. We didn't have a virus at all. It was just a little stressful. Quick note while I was editing another video, I forgot to mention that back here there's actually a plugin for the PlayStation VR 2 hidden behind all the books. It's very hard to see, but it is back there, and it just makes my VR life very, very easy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't gone over in this room. I'll kind of just walk through, and thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. I want to thank you so much. This might be the last tour in this room, as I might be moving next year, and I might end up with a very, very small place. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do a game room tour, but it might not be as great of a scale as this one. So who knows? Maybe we'll do something completely different. Maybe next year we'll still be in this room. I hope not. I hope I'm out of here. But I want to thank you guys for so much of your patience and all your help throughout the years of supporting my channel and supporting my collection and all this. It's a lot of fun, guys. I super duper appreciate it as I continue to work on my lovely, lovely outro. But yeah, it's really nice for you guys. I didn't really mention the chair, but who cares about a gaming chair? It's not comfortable at all. It really is not comfortable. I have a pillow on it for a reason. It's not comfortable. Oh, you know what? We forgot to talk about my headset, which is really interesting. It's just a basic wireless Turtle Beach headset and some awful cablage. Oh my God. Some pretty bad cables, but hey, it happens. I don't know if there's any questions, any at all, in the comments. I will try to respond to every single one, being, you know, how much the collection cost. Well, I guess I could answer that right now. Depending on value, my assumption, like PC, you know, 3,000, all this. Goodness. Good question. Good question, man. That's a good question. I'd probably assume that this is probably 15 to 20K all complete. I don't know, but the price fluctuates every single day. So I don't know, I could do some math on it at some point, but I'm not really sure, you know? Nevertheless, once again, we're gonna try that outro once again. Thank you so much for coming out today and supporting me. Go check out everyone I mentioned. Go support everyone. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys if I'm still breathing. See you guys later.